Well, speaking of making everybody else miserable, welcome back, everybody.
Hey, Wednesday doesn't make people miserable. It makes us delighted.
Y'all are talking to Lorelei right now, so you know.
We love Lorelai.
She is a light in the darkness. Thank you. She will probably make you regret ever telling her that, but
I didn't tell her anything.
yeah, and that's why you don't get the Christmas card.
Well, last we left our heroes, we were in the Feywild. We were in Captain Lorelei's cabin. Some information was exchanged, some bargains were made, some information was given. You had just finished the majority of your talk with her as she was preparing to let you kind of stay around for a while, get your rest, um, before setting you back to the material plane whenever it is you all decided you were ready. Um, when we last left off, Lorelai had just gone around the room, checking in with the party, making sure that there are no loose ends. I believe there were still a question or two that the party wanted to ask of her. So I will kick you back to Lorelai's cabin, and I will let you run from there.
It's not nice to get you.
Right? Don't kick people in my office.
Uh, Naruto, having gone through all of her various materials, making sure that she did not miss anything, uh, finds the illustration labeled the clavis and will ask Lorelei, um, as far as further leads on what this cult may or may not be up to, do you know anything about a gemstone called the clavis?
Clavis. She leans back in her chair, and then she turns to look at the papers that Yuki had given her to flip and flips through until she finds the one she had briefly skimmed that had the name of the clavis on it too. And her fingers begin tapping on her desk. I know of it. It's a very powerful artifact. It was used a very, very long time ago to catch a hole in the weave. I don't know what caused the rift in the first place, or I just know that this powerful artifact was created at that time, and its power was used to seal the rift back up because it was in danger of being unwoven entirely. And this cult is interested in it. I don't know why that's a question. I'm looking at the paper. I can see that they have it written here. Well, that's problematic.
It sounds like the same sort of scheme that they wish to enact now was perhaps done in the past, and they want the clavis either to undo whatever the sealing was, or at the very least ensure that it can't be used to undo their progress again.
Both scenarios are just as equally likely. An artifact of the clavis's power. The way it was used, the reason it was created, at least, from what faulty memory I have. If it was used to seal something back up, it can be used to destroy the seal it initially created. If they're going out poking holes in the weave again, it might also be possible that, yes, the clavis could be used to seal those up too, although I don't know how they did it back then, or even who was involved. All I know is that it was created, it was used, and then it was very specifically hidden away, and the memory of a lot of it erased. So it couldn't be found.
Hmm. Sounds like something we need to get our hands on.
Yeah, someone needs to get their hands on it before these people do. Especially if anything that they're trying to do is anything like Baxis tried to do before, and potentially those before him tried to do as well. The weave has to be maintained.
Gives us a better idea on what their plans for it are. Still no leads on where to find it, though.
Unfortunately, that is not something I can help with. I will reach out to my sister. Not my sister. I'll reach out to Mab. She might have some more knowledge about it, and at this point, this has now become bigger than just all of you finding my friend. I will see what I can do from this side.
Very well. Well, you know how to contact us. Did you find anything to update?
Oh yes, I will. In the meantime, it has been a long day. I'm sure you are all quite exhausted. You have the full protection of the Summer Court at your disposal. That includes you as my guests having a place to stay for the night, if you would like. I will send you off in the morning. Well, morning is relative. I could send you back the very moment that you set foot in the Feywild. If you'd like to discuss amongst yourselves everything that's been done here today. You're going to discuss amongst yourselves anyway. You're fine to do it here. You don't have to. It would be terrible planning if you did not discuss amongst yourselves everything that we all just learned.
I think a set of quarters that we can retire to have our discussions and a rest would be ideal.
Would you all like your own rooms, or would you like one together with just separate beds? Safety numbers, I do suggest the buddy system, regardless.
Let's do individual apportioned rooms for those of us who tend to be a little more active, and a common area for us to all meet in.
That is easily enough done. Talavar!
As you call out for Talavar, there is a slight poof of air next to you exploding. With it, some rose petals, and the tiny violet fairy dragon appears. You called Queen Lorelei.
It's just Lorelei. Yes,
Yes,
called you.
of course.
I called you They all need a place to sleep.
Ah.
Take them down to one of the wings, whichever one has a nice view.
Talvar turns to you and he says, do you prefer a forest view or a lake view?
Yuki's gonna blink at everybody and say, maybe forest view?
I like the forest too. Forest is good with me.
Very well. The east wing it is. He turns to Lorelei and gives her a very deep bow, and he says, by your leave, my queen.
Yeah.
Very well. He turns the rest of you guys and he says, follow me. And he will start kind of leading you out of the rooms, and as you kind of leave, as he starts to guide you out of the captain's cabin here, where the door opened and there was that kind of open meadow where you saw the T set up between Lorelei and Mab, there is now just a series of hallways, and he turns left.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Just leave the room with everybody else. Get really close to Yuki. So we're sure that following the fairy dragon is okay?
Yes, I believe it is all right. We have her protection, so I guess follow the fairy dragon. And she's just gonna shrug.
I like his mustache. I don't know dragons could have mustaches.
Yuki's gonna smile and she's gonna say, he does look very dapper, doesn't he?
I think he needs a little hat.
Ooh. Maybe we can make him one tonight.
Maybe. I can mend things, so yeah, maybe.
Yuki's gonna kind of lean over towards Jade and say, well, I guess additionally, if we were in danger from the little purple dragon, when the invitations were dropped off, he could have just eaten us then. So I guess we're good.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't even know he was in the room and I don't even sleep. I was busy looking at Naruto, so, you know.
He must be very sneaky.
But he's also very tiny.
This is true. Yuki will fall in and follow Talavar.
So Talvar escorts you through this this hallway, and as you move through it, like it has the look of the wooden planks and boards and that kind of thing as you pass through, like you would see on a ship. You can hear the creaking of the wood. You can almost feel a very gentle sway, the sound of water kind of crashing against the outer panels. Um, After a few moments, the wooden paneling gives way to floor-to-ceiling picture windows on both sides of you. And what you can see through them is a vast forest with sky the color of cotton candy, um, green trees and flowers of all species and color, things that seem otherworldly at times, sprouting to life and just growing and thriving in the environment around it. He walks you down this hallway for a few steps until he comes to a door, and he turns and he opens it for you, and what you see as you peer inside is a common room. There are some plush chairs kind of arranged around a center table. There's a little bit of a wet bar there. You can make tea. There's other uh, refreshments available as well. Again, picture windows throughout this area, kind of like a big square room, and at various points in this room, there are other doors that are open as you enter. These other doors open into separate little sleeping quarters where you would each have your own private space when you desire to use it. Talvar again gives you a bow, and he says, "This space is yours to use as you please for your stay."
I've wonderful.
Do please enjoy, and if there's anything I can do to make your stay more comfortable, you need just say my name, and I shall appear.
Okay.
And with that, he leaves the door open, and he again disappears in that same kind of poof of air, and black rose petals fluttering to the floor.
Little things just kind of disappear and reappear here, huh?
This place is strange,
Pretty though.
I suppose.
I mean, Talbot and Lorelei seemed really nice so far.
A bit concerning that she was not at all aware of the dangerous goings on with the void magic.
Do you expect it to be?
I'm sure her duties here in the Feywild are her primary concern, but given how dire she took the threat once told of it, enough that it would threaten multiple planes and potentially multiple worlds, I would have felt a lot better if I knew someone else who was aware and had some sort of handle on the situation, but it falls to us, I suppose.
Well, I mean, she said she was going to help, so at least we have that.
Yeah.
It is strange, though. I mean, you'd think for all the disruption that the void was causing, that someone else would know about it, but it doesn't seem like anyone's been really aware.
Either they've been covering their tracks and are only just now getting bold enough to conduct acts as brazen as the arson in Crystal Cove, or
I mean, but if you think about it, though, in Crystal Cove, it was just the one bit of magic that had the void in it, and we didn't even know about it until the professor summoned Jeffrey, and then they were looking for stuff in Dumb's Raw, and in Rockdale there was the people getting turned into gnolls, but I think the most we've ever seen of any kind of concentration of it has really just been in Red's Wolf.
right.
Maybe they're too spread out to be like, I guess a threat or to show up.
Well, if you imagine the weave as like a large piece of fabric, if you make one hole and then pull and pull and pull at it, it'll be quite apparent. And the wearer will notice and stitch it up. But if you make many smaller holes here and there, those might not attract notice until the point where you have enough of them altogether that one bad bit of strain can rip the whole thing asunder.
I do think they're being just extra careful about this one so that people don't catch on then, rather than how they've been with all the thefts and things.
Maybe. It seems to me that their usage of the void has largely been tactical. They used it for the teleportation in Crystal Cove. And but then the Knolls weren't particularly tactical. That seemed like something that had sort of escaped from them and begun causing problems elsewhere.
Or maybe it was an accident. I mean, Rockamira said that they don't even have control over the things all the time that come through. What if they were testing stuff down in like Crystal Cove, trying to get a handle on the magic, and like you said, just one of those things got away? Or one of them that was playing with it got infected? But the professor's not infected, and the professor's used it. So much of this all seems like they're not really all working together. Or like the different. I know they had like that letter that had all the different people that they gave titles to, and it seems like maybe they all have different goals for this.
I think their main goal is, from what we can tell, retrieving the clavis and making use of it to make a proper play for a large-scale disruption of the weave. All of the other cells and schemes are all methods of gathering information and following potential leads to uncover that artifact.
Well, it seems like, although they did take that piece of the teleportation circle away from the Sentinels, can you get to the weave easier from like the astral plane or something?
No, but if Vaxis was attempting some sort of scheme, potentially with knowledge and usage of void magic, if that teleportation circle led to his fortress, and they could reconstruct that sigil,
or even and just get to his stuff.
it's the most likely option I can think of. A piece of rock with a little bit of a teleportation circle can't serve any other purpose than collecting the pieces to reform that circle. And why would anyone be interested in any particular sigil except if this one that was used to get to Vaxis's tower on the astral plane, if that was the destination they needed access to?
That makes sense. Yuki, what do you think?
Well, in talking about Vaxis's teleportation circle, I mean, our monastery was built where Vaxis's castle lair, whatever word you want to use, monstrosity of evil had been. I obviously was not there when the monastery was created, but we are told that when it was built, the monks destroyed all remnants of anything that was left behind. So as to not allow any evil to come back. to keep the balance that had been brought about with us being there, balancing out the evil that he had left, and so that wouldn't be a way that they could access anything. It was completely shattered and destroyed. I mean, there's stories of when the monks came, they used just explosives and just turned anything that was left to dust.
So that piece that the Sentinels had might be the last actual piece.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're going to use it to recreate it then.
I hope not.
Me
I
too.
sure hope not.
The maps that we found, looking them over, there are lines there denoting the ley lines, places where the weave itself kind of has the strongest pull.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are certain places. Moonhaven is the most notable one, but also on Uzura, you could say Dumdaral or Crystal Cove, places where the ley lines cross over and interconnect. If there was any place where they might want to make use of the clavis to create their tear, those are the likely spots they would want to strike.
Moonhaven seems to have like four points connecting to it.
And it's likely that Wizards of the Past felt that stronger connection, and that is why they tended to congregate there and eventually resulted in the Magic Academy being formed. Although, from talking with your father, Jade, it seems as though the reverse could be true, and that the large gathering of wizards and the usage of magic in that spot continuously over time may have caused ley lines to drift and center themselves in that location. Very chicken and the egg problem, but the point remains, it's potentially a very vulnerable location if they get their way and retrieve the artifact they're looking for.
Wine. It seems like it all leads back to Temerity too. Whatever information maybe she came across or whatever she was studying. Her and that man that she was with. And they got, I mean, they took her magic away with all, I mean, not her magic, but all the things she had created with it, and are using them now to do things. So should we go to Moonhaven first and see what's there?
I think if that's the primary goal is to find this temerity and uphold our obligation to Queen Lorelei, Moonhaven would be the most logical place to start.
Especially if it's going to be the place that maybe is the most potent in order to do whatever they're trying to do with the clavis. Although it doesn't seem like they found it yet. What if Temerity was looking for it? What if that's what got her in trouble? Maybe she knows where it is. Oh, but then why would they hurt? Well, I guess she's not dead. All I didn't say said she thought she'd know if she was dead. I guess that doesn't make sense then.
And I think that just brings us back to our primary goal of finding Temerity. Maybe she can tell us about, anything she found, or, where her friend went what happened when they went on the ship. I mean, at this point, I feel like we have so many questions and no answers.
Well, at least we have a direction. That's good, right?
True. This is true.
What do you think about all this, Aura?
I think that I have more questions now than answers.
Do you want to find more answers, or do you want to find more questions?
Answers would be nice.
Then Moonhaven would most likely be our best place to go. If we can pick up any of the paper trail of Temerity's studies. More questions, we could go directly after the cult's interest, which from what we can tell so far is largely over in Averil.
At least they're sending more people right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Laura said she was going to warn her people too, and the Garnet Hand was going to warn theirs, so maybe we can get ahead of them before they wreak more havoc down that way.
The downside with following up the trail with Temerity is that we can gain more insights into what her role is in all of this. But we have to work under the assumption that our enemies here already have all of that information. And all that's led them to is directing their search towards the Clavis.
Yeah, but they don't
We'd be
have
giving them more time to reach that goal while we play catch up with the research.
maybe, but they don't have you and the professor to look after it, and they also don't have Aura and Alatar. Maybe they're missing pieces, and that's why they're all kind of scattered.
Maybe. Although I went to school and Temerity was one of my professors, I'm very flattered that you think so very highly of my skills, Jade, but I don't think I'm better than a wizard who has mastered magic on the level Temerity has.
I mean, maybe you're not as good as at the magic bit of it, but who's to say that? I mean, she's a wizard, right? She had to have some sort of way to protect herself, and or maybe, I mean, Aura's been decoding Alatar with all of that, and the way you're really good at puzzles, and Professor just has been researching magic for so long. I mean, that's something that they don't have. I mean, you helped Aura on the very first day we even met to help her understand even what her book was. So it's better than I think it's we've got at least that. And maybe they missed something. If they're really just focusing in on this Clavis thing, maybe they missed a piece of something else that'll help. I don't know. But sometimes it's a good idea to start back at the beginning rather than try to find the end point, especially when we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they would dig in at Dumb Draw for months, and they never even found it. And then they thought the Sentinels might have had it, maybe, or they were just there only for that little bit of rock. And Rockdale, they didn't really seem to be like. It seemed like they were waiting for things to come in there just because it was a port city and they were practicing stuff. So maybe we have time before things before we have to worry about racing them for anything.
Not that I like to add any complications to an already complicated situation, but have we figured out what's going on with that Herald person that has been mentioned?
No idea.
Just seems to be a common thread.
If I had to take a guess, considering the meaning of the word herald, it's very likely that this is some sort of avatar, messenger, or at least very devoted follower of Kurgalath. One that has been
Oh.
at work for a very long time, attempting to set about precisely what we are dealing with right now.
Or he's someone like Vexis who's just getting people to follow him and getting them to do what he wants them to do.
Additional complications.
Well, maybe not really. Still falls into the category of bad person who we have to stop.
Yeah. I'm putting Herald in the same category as Grand Magus Rudolphus as person I don't know, but I'm probably going to have to throw Arby at.
Probably. Well, hopefully they are not so grand that they won't be intimidated by Arby. And we can take care of this before it becomes a real problem.
I appreciate the optimism of stating that it is not already a real problem, but
well, it's a problem, but maybe it's not a whole everybody's problem. Maybe it's just our problem right now, and together we can fix the problem before it becomes the problem that everyone has to worry about. We've been doing pretty good, right? I mean,
yeah.
they even wrote a letter about us.
And I'm very proud of you, Jade, for your positivity in this, especially since that I know that is a difficult thing for you when under stress.
Yep, I'm super trying here. It's been I think it helps a little bit that we are going to get help, and we're not going to be alone the whole time now.
I think our course of action is to head to Moonhaven. I definitely want to know more about what Temerity was researching. I get the impression Lorelei would also want us to go there anyway, so we may not have a choice. But while there, we can also meet back up with the headmistress, see if we can make any headway in gaining aid from her and her association as well. More backup as we move forward.
I mean, she did say she was going to reach out to people.
Mm-hmm. I do have a contact or two from my days at university. There's a very lovely librarian that I'm certain will be able to help us quite a bit.
Oh, we get to go to the library? But I mean, sure, she was research and stuff, so we go there anyway. But that'd be nice.
Oh yes, there's going to be a lot of books.
Oh, it's exciting.
Yes. From there, whatever we manage to turn up will inform our decision on where to head to after. We either get right on the heels of the cult, heading towards maybe Averil, maybe Western Port, or we could take a detour southwest if we wanted to meet up with these other Thorns of the Black Rose, see if they have any aid or wisdom they can share. Even stop by Rose Coast, and Ren can clear out his office. Or is it an office? Cal made it sound like you kind of had just a basement.
Yeah, that was weird.
My brain is dancing around the word dungeon, and it makes me uncomfortable in this context.
Me too. Okay.
Did you have a dungeon? Maybe it was a really lovely dungeon. I mean, we have a dungeon at home.
He did say you had a singing plant, so that sounds nice.
Maybe it was the darkest place for you, and it matched your theme.
I am content waiting some time before I confront that particular element of my past.
Okay.
Fair enough. So, at the very least, for next steps, Moonhaven. Are we in agreement that seems our best place to stop next?
I agree.
I think so, yeah. Start right at the beginning, or at least the
Yeah.
beginning that we know of. Professor, how are you feeling about all of this and everything that... There was a lot of going on in that room. How are you?
I'm all right. I have to say that it is a lot. And just really settling into some of the implications of what we've found so far, and how it feels like we're not going to find much else on this path. But you can't understate the importance of the journey that we're on. I think that this is the right way to go. And if I'm absolutely honest, I'm assuming there's like windows in this room that kind of look out into this forested area.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He kind of turns his shoulder a bit so that he's not looking out the window, and he's just like, this place kind of makes me a little uncomfortable.
Oh, how come? Is it the magic?
No, not really. You see, Kitsune are more than just fox people. They're forest spirits, and the longer they are away from their forest, they feel pulled back to it, and
Oh.
that's why I stay in my human form. It helps to sort of tamp it down and try to stay away from heavily wooded areas. It's just kind of silly, really, but I just feel a pull back home, and I don't like it.
Oh. I understand that. I mean, not exactly what you're going through, but I understand feeling things you don't want to feel.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be out of here in no time. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but just...
Professor, I did not know. If I knew, I would not have suggested a room by a forest.
No, it's okay. I mean, we got here in a forest. We met Lorelei and Mab in a forest. It's like homesickness, except you feel it pulling on your very soul, like a magnet that's just out of reach. So you can keep away, but you just feel it. You feel it, and it's fine.
Like that itch you can't ever really get to?
Not quite, because I could get to it. And I guess that's maybe what I'm more concerned about, is that if it gets too itchy, then I'll be inclined to itch it and go back. The work we're doing here is far too important for anything of that sort. So,
would it be terrible to go back? Not now, but one day? And
maybe one day, but
just for a visit?
It might be. It might be so bad, because I might not want to leave again. And I really do believe in the work they're doing.
Well, everybody has a home somewhere. Maybe when you find a new one, the old one won't pull on you so much. Even though I know it's more of a forest, actually a forest spirit thing, and a forest spirit needs to be a forest thing. But you can hold on to that thought. Maybe it'll make you feel better.
He chuckles a little bit. Thanks, Jade.
Oh, yeah, of course. What did you mean though about not thinking that the path we're on is going to get us the best out of it? Do you think going to Moonhaven is not the best idea?
Oh no, sorry. Context. I need to do better at that. No, learning about the void. I've just really been thinking about it since we've come here, and we've learned lots. But my personal research into this and has not really gotten anywhere further. I see the effects of the corruption, and I know the effect on myself, but nothing further has revealed itself to me. Nothing new that I haven't already learned, and it's frustrating, especially when I'm actively looking into these things and casting these spells, and being near people also casting it is frustrating, like a block, and it feels like maybe this is it. Without fully committing to it, this is the best we might get. And not saying that I want to fully commit to it, because that is far from the truth, not unless we find a way to safely manage it. But yeah,
Well, it's making it harder to figure it out.
he nods. Like, little things. There are very big, much bigger things for us to be concerned about. Just
I mean,
as the alcohol purges from my system.
well, it's part of the things to be concerned about, though, isn't it? I mean, not for nothing, but you've already touched the void a little bit, and we honestly just don't know what it is. All the stuff we've talked about and all the things we've learned, and we still don't know what it is and why it's doing it, what it's doing, and if it's doing it because it's got, like, I don't know, just an oil and water thing happening when it's here, but it's not actually bad, and maybe it just needs to be in its own plane, or is the way that it's being used in a bad way? I mean, Professor, like you said, it's not hurting your ability to use magic, but it's trying to replace some of your magic with a different type of magic. Maybe it's just trying to find a place here because it's not supposed to be here. So learning more about it is a good idea, at least while we're actively trying to find other people who are also using it for who knows what, although it seems like they're trying to make all these tiny little holes in the weave and completely destroy it, or at least move it.
Yeah. You know, honestly, the best possible case scenario, I think, is to find one of these cult members, but someone trying to get out, someone who doesn't like what they're doing, someone willing to talk, and someone who knows the damage that it's causing and wanting to do something about it, someone I can pick their brains without having them ask me to become a zealot of some sort.
Maybe someone who learned about the void before and walked away from it.
Precisely. But
Best case scenario, we find that person.
I don't have high hopes, considering the addictive nature of that kind of power. It's hard to walk away from something like that.
I guess it just depends on what they saw while they were doing it.
Well, we'll keep an eye out, I guess.
And maybe this time, like, sure they don't have an acid tooth.
Ugh, yeah. Or at least maybe we can find out where they get them. I mean, that's nasty stuff.
I can't believe we forgot that they had that.
Perhaps next time we run into them, one of us can pretend to be a dentist. Just really get in there first, and then we beat the snot out of them.
I mean, you have gloves, so...
That's all it takes, I'm sure.
I mean, I'll have gloves too, but you also have, like, you're a professor?
Professors don't. Do you think that all professors wear gloves?
No, I meant it can't hurt if you're pretending to be, like, another type of doctor.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't really know. I never went to a dentist, so I don't. I know what a dentist is.
Well, maybe we'll actually meet a dentist so we can see what kind of gloves they wear.
Okay. I could put that on our list of research.
A very quickly growing list of research and places to be and people to save and defeat. And we're really in it, aren't we?
I think so.
There's no
Like-
walking away now. Not that I wanted to walk away, but I mean, even if we wanted to, I don't think we could.
I mean, we could walk away, but then that means who's going to help?
That's the thing, isn't it?
I want to walk away a lot. But I don't
Honestly,
think I could. Yeah,
I think if you did walk away, it'd just find you again.
maybe. But I think before it even found me, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be happy with myself knowing that I left when there's so many bad things that I could maybe help stop.
Yeah, and at the rate that all this is happening, I think that we're going to be getting to a time very soon where it's not going to be possible to walk away for anyone.
That's really ominous, and I don't really like that, but if we're all together, at least we know we'll have each other, and we won't have to face any of it alone.
And Ren is a singing plant, so we are on the right path.
Yeah, I mean, a singing plant is weird. That's super weird, but not in a nice way.
I'd like to know, is a singing plant a pet? Or is a singing plant just a plant? Like, would you care for it like a plant, or would you talk to it like a plant? Or maybe it's like a familiar where you can channel magic through it and it will sing spells as long as it's touching its leaves or something.
I suppose we will have to find that out sometime.
Well, I mean, if we're on our way to Moonhaven, then it's not that far. By comparison, at least, we don't need to cross an ocean or anything.
Well, when we get to Ren's dungeon with the singing plant, we can definitely ask about it.
All right, so what is our official next step? Are we doing this? Are we going to Moonhaven?
I guess we rest for the night, and then we go to Moonhaven in the morning. Although it's not really nighttime. Maybe it's never nighttime here. I don't know. But Lorelei said that we could rest and recover, and then she would send us to wherever we wanted to go.
Then to Moonhaven when we stop recovering.
Yeah. Has anyone ever heard of people just disappearing without being able to be found? Like, what could do that? That a literal fairy queen couldn't find you?
Ren snorts death.
Maybe, but she said she'd know if Temerity died. I mean, I get it if she said that the man she was with was the one that disappeared because she said she couldn't find him either, but what if both of them just disappeared? And she could know that Temerity was dead? Unless she's just wishful thinking she'd know if Temerity was dead.
There are magics that can protect one from being sensed or scryed through divinations. It could be as easy as casting a few of those spells and stepping overboard at a certain point during the trip, heading underwater for something they were needing.
Do you think Temerity and Rufus are like trying to outrun the call? Or maybe looking for something before they can get to it?
Possible. They either felt the need to obfuscate themselves from any detection, or they made use of something like plane shift spell or other wider reaching travel options. Like you said, if it's outside of Lorelei's scope to detect, then they would have to be traveling to outer planes, or if it's even possible, potentially one of these other worlds. But too many options to speculate there. We need more data.
Yeah. Middle of the ocean's gonna be a really tough place to search if they actually did that, so fingers crossed that that's not the case. Or maybe fingers crossed it is the case, because that might be the easiest one. I don't know. Well,
If it's the result of an attack by a wayward kraken, then all we have to do is sail in the rough area and it'll come to us.
I mean, we already fought a duck. That was weird. I kind of don't want to fight a kraken too.
I don't either. And honestly, kraken attack would be a little too pedestrian for all of this at this point.
It's weird that I'm about to say this, but you're not wrong. Maybe it was a person who got turned into a kraken. That'd be more on par with what we've been saying.
Well, I think at this point we know where we want to go and what we want to accomplish. If I sit here spitballing theories about what may or may not be the plot, we will never actually get the rest. So, I think.
Oh, right, yes. Sleep is important.
I think I am still a little sore from cranking that ballista, so I am going to take my rest. Yeah. Anyone needs me, I'll be in my room.
Okay.
Good night, Nariko.
Good night.
So Nariko retreats to her room for the evening. Does anybody else wish to have any conversations in this common area, or are the rest of you going to your rooms as well?
Ren's got to eyeball the professor. Do you intend on conducting any additional experiments in this realm?
Here? Hell no.
Ah, very well. Then we may rest.
Do you want to? I mean, anything could happen here. It's really not a reliable place to do anything. You're not even supposed to eat food unless you're invited. You can't trust a place like that. You can't trust the food. Why would you ever want to go somewhere like that?
I am thrilled by your enlightened approach to the situation. Now we should rest.
Right. Let's go, bestie. Time to hit the proverbial sack. See you in the not morning, not nighttime, not daytime, when we stop sleeping. Good night, day, evening, sleep time. I don't know how to I don't know how to exist here. He just walks off towards a room.
Ren shakes his head and he goes to find a room that has this prop in it, because something has to.
Totally does.
Excellent.
Weird how accommodating it is for things that you need.
Anyone else?
I think Yuki will probably head to bed too.
Very good. Well, if there is nothing else for you guys, then you all head to your rooms, and
I think
you're
Jade will stay in the common area.
Oh, okay.
Just to she'll sentinels rest it up in the common areas to watch everyone's doors.
Okay. So y'all head back to your rooms. You get ready to settle yourselves down and recover for a little while. Anything else you guys want to do on your own while you have a moment of peace and quiet with yourselves?
I think Yuki will, before she goes to bed, spend some time looking at her belt, so that it will be attuned to me.
Very good. Yeah, definitely more than enough time to attune yourselves to whatever items you have picked up. Things of that sort. But if you guys have nothing else you wish to accomplish, then you are all able to get your long rest. Hit points come back, abilities come back, temporary hit points go away.
I do want to say in the middle, in the nighttime when everything is calmed down and everybody's sleeping, Jade will talk with David.
Okay.
So she will take David out and set him on the table that's here. David?
Yes, Miss Jade?
You've been listening to everything. What do you think about all this void magic?
I always listen to everything, Miss Jade. And what I think is that it's something that has been scrubbed from this world, and quite possibly rightfully so.
Do you know anything about it?
Very little, I'm afraid.
Anything that we don't already know?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. I'm worried about telling Papa just yet. But I think he's going to have to know soon.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Can you, no, never mind. Okay, well, if you think of anything, just let me know, okay? You can, you don't have to be quiet anymore in the bag.
All right.
Great. Okay, good night, David.
Night, Miss Jade.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, so long rest is had by all.
Yeah. Yay, my spell slots come back.
Please make sure to adjust the hit points on your tokens and all that good stuff.
Ooh.
Morning arises. The pinks and purples in the sky kind of crescendo in brightness, coming in through the windows of each of your rooms individually. Clear indication that 8 hours have passed and you wake up feeling very well refreshed. What's your first plan of action?
Coffee.
Yeah. Jade goes and knocks on Aura's door. Aura,
Yes.
I know it's early. I just hear everybody else start to move around, and I don't know if you wanted to stay sleeping this late. Yeah.
No, I'm getting up. Thank you.
Okay.
And she'll be out in like just a couple moments. Hi.
Good morning.
Everything okay?
Yeah, no one came into the rooms last night. That I could see, anyway.
Good.
Yeah. How'd you sleep?
So.
You worried?
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No, but thanks for offering. I think I'm just ready to get to Moonhaven.
Yeah. We're finally gonna make it, though. A couple of weeks late, but we're gonna get there.
Yep. How are you?
Try not to worry as much. It's not working great. But I only had a small panic attack in the middle of the night. Um, it was easily rectified. I'm just nervous, I suppose, about what it is we're going to find. If we even find anything. I think I'm more worried about us not finding anything at all. And then we go in the wrong direction.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we're all a little worried.
Yeah. I mean, Oracle made a good point last night that Tamarity's a very, very powerful wizard. What can we do that a really powerful wizard can't do? But I do think we're better when we're all together. So hopefully we'll get there and we'll find out what happened and find out what they were researching and be able to go find where they went to and help get this all resolved.
Right.
Yeah.
And we do have a few powerful allies now, so.
Yeah. I mean, you talk with Telvar.
He didn't talk much.
Yeah, he mostly grunted at you, but it seemed like in a nice way.
Yeah, I don't think he talks much.
That's okay. I talk a lot for most people, so someone has to talk less to balance it out, you know?
I guess that's true. Shall we go find the others?
Yeah, yeah, that's why.
Or we'll follow.
Out in the common room, you'll find the little wet bar that was set up. Again, has hot tea and coffee and little like tea cakes ready for you.
Oh, look, breakfast.
Marco is going to stick to drinking for personal thermos of coffee.
Good morning, Noriko.
Good morning, Jade.
How did you sleep?
Not too bad. I tried out my multi-tool a bit on fixing up RB, and yes, very happy with the new addition to my kit, for sure.
Well, that's great.
Weird dreams though. Not
Oh?
sure if that's the Feywild influence.
Maybe. Or maybe it's just normal stress.
I'll accept either answer.
What did you dream about?
It's a little fuzzy, but I was riding on a horse. And it was this big open plain. And then I think it was like a dragon, but it looked kind of like a deer too. Like it had like antlers,
Mm.
but it was big and shiny and golden.
Well, that sounds pretty.
Very pretty, but also not what I usually dream about, so I'm pretty sure that was some Feywild imagination getting into me.
Maybe. Oh, maybe you got visited by the spirit of a deer dragon.
Okay. Don't know if that's good.
I mean, do you feel different? Did it hurt you, or did you
No,
just say it?
it was a thing that showed up in my dream where nothing else looked familiar. So that was
Okay.
also unfamiliar.
Well,
Usually,
you definitely didn't start wandering out in the middle of the night in your sleep. So at least you didn't go anywhere.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, most of my dreams I'm usually like back in school and I'm trying to give a presentation in front of the class, and for whatever reason I'm like really small, so my hands like don't reach up with the whiteboard to like put the chalk on, and then I look down and I haven't put pants on.
Well, that doesn't
That
sound like a
wasn't.
nice dream.
No, it's not. But that's more of a typical dream.
Oh, well, I like the dream about the dragon deer better.
Anyway, I think I am mentally refreshed and prepared to step foot into a new place with new challenges.
Yeah. I'll just wait for everyone else to get up, and then we can go. Are we supposed to go find Lorelei, or is she coming here? I guess she never really said, did she?
I think we have to go. Well, we can ask for the little dragon, and he can lead us back. Because I think part of the whole being nice to the guests is not just barging into their quarters unannounced.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Do you want a little cake?
I'm not really hungry this morning.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna eat this one. It has pink frosting on it. And Jade will enjoy her breakfast.
As the morning continues to wane on, Professor, you are woken up by a thunking and all sorts of just commotion going on in your room.
Oh no.
What in the blazes? He kind of lurches up to a sit and looks around.
As you sit, you just kind of see Jeffrey is floating around the room, and he is just just bumping into every corner of the room as he just circles the room.
Oh Jeffrey!
No.
Oh!
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Jeffrey's attention snaps to you, and then he kind of darts to the door, turns around, and just like looks at you expectantly with face tentacles floating up in front of him.
The professor leaps out of bed and like just grabs his jacket on the way out and throws it on. All right, where are we going?
You kind of get an image of your head of bored, ready to leave now.
What? You're bored?
Bored!
That's it. I thought there was some sort of cataclysmic void event that's calling you to become some sort of monstrosity or some sort of something of note. And you just don't have anything to do. You just want to find something to do. You want out of here.
There's a nod, then a shake of his head, and then another nod.
He stares for a moment, opens the door, and gestures out into the hallway.
Jeffrey zips out to the main room.
I guess I'm up now. And you'll follow him out.
Morning, Jeffrey. Morning, Professor.
Hello.
Would you like a little cake?
Yes, please.
Here you go.
Why is it so little?
I think it's because there's so many of them, and that way you can try them all.
Are they all different kinds?
I've been eating them, and every time I eat one, another one shows up, and they've been different. So, which makes me feel less bad about eating them because it doesn't actually do anything for me.
Oh. You'll forget everything that just happened and go to town on these little cakes.
This one has a chocolate inside of it.
Jeffrey, is this good enough? He says between swallows. Like, are you happy out here? Or do you want to go, like get out of the Feywild? Because I am ready also.
Jeffrey again starts like zipping around the room and starts kind of like bonking himself into whatever doors are left closed in this room here.
Jeffrey!
Okay, stop. I am going to time lock you if you don't stop that. And if you
Jeffrey,
think I can't do it,
yourself.
I can do it. You just have to give me some time to figure out how. But I mean, if I figure out how, time really won't be a problem because I'll come back and do it now.
There is a pause, and then Jeffrey just kind of droops and he kind of starts floating over towards you. Meanwhile, those of you who are still in bed, you've definitely heard this thonking and bonking around on your doors.
Yeah, Yuki will kind of peek out and make her way out to everybody else, and she's gonna look at Jeffrey and look at everybody and say, "Did everybody hear a banging a few moments ago?"
Jeffrey was running into walls.
Just being a disrespectful plot device.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Jeez.
Not sure what that is. I feel like it's probably not nice.
Here, Jeffrey. This one's a strawberry cake.
Jeffrey kind of floats over to you, Jade, and just looks up in your direction, looks at the cake, and looks back at you.
She hands him the cake.
Slowly reaches out with two face tentacles, and just as slowly, just right into his mouth.
Okay. He's
How come you
acting
offer
real
him
weird.
strawberry things? Probably likes other flavors.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I thought strawberry was his favourite.
No, that's just all I gave him that one time.
Oh, that's okay. Jeffrey, here. And she makes a little plate of all the different kinds of cakes. She gives it to Jeffrey. And you tell us which one is your favourite.
Jeffrey's eyes light up, and he actually takes the plate in his hands and starts like slowly and delicately sampling each little one. And there's just little nods after every single one. Professor, the impression that you get is everyone is his favorite.
No.
I love
He likes
little
all of
thing.
them. Not
Oh,
just
he's like you.
I guess.
You like
I have
them.
very discerning tastes. I just have discerning tastes for everything.
Sometime around that lie, Ren is gonna poke his head out of his door Do you think they will mind if we take things from our rooms?
What are you trying to take?
This hammock they have set up in here for me is perfect, and I want it.
Can
I mean,
you
we-
document the effects of stealing from the Feywild? Because I'd love to put it in a book somewhere.
That is unkind. That is why I'm asking if they would mind if we take things.
I mean, they said it was our room. Oh, we can.
Understand
Oh,
that.
wait. We can just ask. Talavar.
As you call out Talavar's name, another poof of black rose petals, and Talavar
Ah.
appears in the room, and he says, "You called."
Hello. Good morning. Would you like a cake?
No, I am fine.
Okay. Is Ren allowed to take the hammock from his room?
Talavar kind of blinks, looks at Ren, and looks at the hammock. Looks back at you, Jade, and says, "Sure. It's a mundane item. There's no harm in taking it for yourself."
Excellent.
Great.
It is at the perfect height and width for me to nestle my upper body into it and sleep.
Nothing but the best for the guests of the Summer Queen.
And goes back and begins dismantling his hammock. He gonna put it in his bag of holding now that he has one.
Yeah, he is.
He can set up a
Smart.
safety place anywhere now. He a happy boy.
I am so excited that the Ren having trouble sleeping because no place is fit for a centaur has lasted this long.
Hey, I had come up with a solution a while ago. I'm like, do I really want to wait till we get back to the Rose Coast to find that? No, wait, we in the Fae realm. I'm sure Lorelei has great ideas.
Oh
What
yeah,
happened here? We're good.
hell yeah,
We're good.
fantastic.
Yeah, so he just has like this hammock set up and he can like nestle his upper body into it. And he can like lean forward into it and it doesn't bother his horns and he can just rest that way and have support.
Yay!
Happy boy. Running off with the hammock.
Well, you are all up and awake. Have you decided your next steps?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have Lorelei send us to Moonhaven.
A wise choice, a good decision. Yes, indeed.
Is it a wise choice because that's the choice she was gonna want us to make?
I cannot say one way or the other.
Oh, then how do you know it's wise?
You all look like wise companions.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Kind of nods. Says, "Are you ready to go see Queen Lorelei then?"
Is everyone ready? Do you want some more
Mhm.
cakes?
As you say that, Yuki is finishing her tea. Just says, I am ready when you are.
Okay.
Then comes out with his bag of holding, grabs a few cakes. Ready.
I guess we're ready. Yeah.
Very well. To the Queen's chambers. And he kind of turns. He goes to the door of the common room that you guys had entered through, and as he opens it up, it opens directly into Lorelei's cabin. And he leads you inside.
Just walk inside. Lorelei looks up as everybody comes in. The bandana she was wearing yesterday is gone, and where it had been sitting, you can see there is a very thin circlet of silver that's shaped like vines that's wrapped around her head. And as everyone comes in, she sits up from her desk, grabs her hat, and puts it on, and hides that once more. What didn't take as long as I was expecting. Early
Quick!
risers, are you?
Queen Lorelei, your subjects all ready to see you. And he gives you another deep bow.
Yeah, guests, but yeah.
Yes.
All right.
My apologies.
I
misspoke.
Stop. It's fine.
Oh, the
It's
pain,
fine.
the shame, the torment.
No, it's fine. You know what? They would make excellent subjects. I can see why. I can see why you came to that conclusion. I need you to do me the biggest job of the day.
At once with haste, my queen.
I know you are excellent at your job. I need you to go send this letter to Mab. And she picks up the letter that she had apparently been writing and hands it over to him.
He kind of makes a face. And
You're the only one I can trust with it.
the immediate, you know this look, Lorelei, and it's him basically saying, I don't want to, but I know I have to. Very well, Queen Lorelei, your wish is my command.
Technically, my command is your command, but yep.
Indeed. Shit.
I'm sure you're not going to run into Leannon. It's probably fine.
I'm quite sure that I am. But I will face it bravely and with honor, as I always have.
Just eat her.
I would not dare cross the ire of Queen Mab.
Probably be doing her a favour.
Very
Go
well.
on then.
He turns to the rest of the party and he says, farewell, adventurers. And he will, again, with a poof of wind and a puff of black rose petals, once again disappears.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How did you all sleep?
Very well. Your accommodations were excellent.
Yeah, that's why you got them in your bag.
Indeed, it will come with me everywhere. I am grateful for your kindness.
Glad to hear it. Someone might as well get some use out of him. So, I trust you had time to talk amongst yourselves. Decide what you needed to decide.
There wasn't too many options for us to narrow down, and it seems like Moonhaven is our sensible next stop for a number of reasons.
Lorelei looks pleased. That was going to be my suggestion.
That was one of the good reasons.
Yuki quietly exhales a sigh of relief.
You're all still so tense. Is there anything I can do before I send you to help?
Naruto looks over at the gallery. If I were not a very respectful young woman, I would think of a few things, but I'm not going to push the bounds of hospitality.
Funny, as you get older, you're gonna get less respectful, but in a fun way. Don't worry about it too much. If I could give you more right now from the gallery, I would. Some of the things don't play nicely together, so one at a time for now. But if I come across anything else that I can send you away, I will.
In that case, I at least am ready to make the journey.
Good. And her eyes are going to pass over everyone one more time, lingering again across Ren and the professor and Jade. You've all got quite a bit of work for yourselves. Remember to let me know what you find. I'll be watching when I can. And I'll be working on it from this side.
Yuki's
Everyone
gonna
come on.
raise her. Yuki's gonna raise her hand.
Yes, Yuki.
How do we let you know what we found?
Couple ways. One, if it's not a life or death situation, head to a siren song.
Right. Yes. Yes.
If you let one of the bartenders know, they'll be able to get you set up. If it is a life or death situation, or something I need to know immediately to try and act on, use the ropes. It is a one-time use, though. Correspondence back and forth, I can trigger from this side. I don't know how much you have access to on yours. So, Siren Song is the best and most reliable place, and it's usually set up in most places that are gonna, well, the hub of activity.
Yuki writes that in her little book and nods.
Anyone
Quick-
else?
Quick out of character question: was there only one rose that was given to the party, or were there one for each of us?
There was just one, right?
Just one.
Okay. Who's holding on to that?
Oh, that's a good question. Who is holding onto it? Does the professor still have it?
Sorry, which?
Somebody got the rose that Lorelei gave, but I don't remember who took it.
I don't think I have it.
It wasn't Yuki.
I was not being responsible then.
So probably Naruko has it then.
Okay, then I will add that into my inventory because I didn't have it listed either.
Right. You all ready to go?
Yuki nods.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Again, out of character, does the Black Rose summon Lorelei, or it just contacts her?
It contacts her.
All right, I'm good to go.
So, Lorelei's going to look at Aura. Remember, the invitation is always open.
Aura goes to speak and then stops herself and just nods.
Woman of few words, are you?
Yeah, I just am not supposed to say the T word here, so
Ah, right. None necessary anyway. Same goes for you. Any siren song. Or shout my name super loud, maybe I'll hear you. Great. Everyone step up around the table. And as everybody gathers around the table that yesterday was glowing blue with what looked like a hologram of some sort of mountainscape is now empty until Lorelei steps up to it, and that same blue glow flickers back to life. And it still looks like that mountain range. Actually, it looks like a caldera of some sort that has since grown over. The longer you stare at it, the more details that you can see. And there's some things moving through the forest there, until you see a velociraptor start walking across the table. And Lorelei puts her hand on it, and the scene immediately switches as that dissolves away, and beginning to populate on the table now is a map of Moonhaven. Right. So, everyone, put your hands on the table. This is what city layout looks like right now.
one hand or both.
Just one is fine.
Jeffrey puts a hand on the table. As you all do the same, you see kind of Telvar looks over his shoulder, and he says, "You're going to want to brace yourself if you've never done this before. It can be a little jarring."
Oh God, am I going to vomit again?
Have you been drinking?
Not today. Are you offering?
Always.
The answer's still no, but
Go ahead, Telvar, with your warning.
That was
About
it.
my magic.
That was it. And he turns and goes back to his book.
Mm.
I
Man
like
of
him.
few words. Yeah, we all like him. Alright, here's what the city looks like right now. Current state. I'm going to send you back. Technically, no time will have passed between the time you entered the Feywild through Leviathan and the time that you step out of the Siren Song here. This is where you'll be stepping out from. And she's gonna, as she says that, the hologram gets bigger and sinks and slowly encompasses the entire room until they are standing in a strange blue glimmering version of a siren song, and the room around them moves and shifts until they are in what looks like a back room area, nicely appointed with cushions and a coffee table, somewhere for potentially people to come and sit and rest. Definitely not one of the rooms for entertainment.
Oh,
Good luck.
I thought the Siren Song was banned from franchising in Moonhaven.
She just gives a grin and she says, "Funny how things change, isn't it?" And as she says that, the room around you, the colors of the room that were that first blue begin to shift and change until they start becoming real, and you feel the bottom drop out of your stomach, and the world tilts on its axis and then when it rights itself again, you're actually standing in the back room that you just saw in the hologram.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm not.
Everybody do a con save.
That was not so bad.
Oh
Yuki
no.
plopped her butt on the ground. Just blah.
You too, Jade.
Jade did, and Jade is not doing well. So as the room shifts and tilts, Jade stumbles, falls into Yuki, and passes out for half a second.
Yuki catches her.
And reaches into his bag and starts munching on one of the cakes. That was a strange sensation.
Well done, Jeffrey.
Yeah, go Jeffrey. I rolled a nat 1.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, that explains the pass out.
Yeah.
So this room materializes in front of you and around you. The image of the Feywild fades away. You're in a very comfortable, cushy kind of room. It does not look like one that is used very often, but it is very neatly and very finely decorated. And as you look about you, it is dimly lit, which is good because otherwise, any bright lights right now would probably make your head hurt. As your eyes adjust to the scenery around you, you see that there is a set of wooden stairs that climb up to a floor above you. They kind of stop at a trapdoor in the ceiling that is above your heads.
All right. Roll call. Narco and Arby present. Everyone else make it?
Ren is here.
Present.
I'm here. Oh, she's just clutching onto Yuki.
Oh, the doctor's breakfast is here too. I'm sorry,
Oh.
the professor's breakfast.
That's right. Okay. Why don't we head outside and get some fresh air. Does everyone walk like you belong here? I'm sure this isn't the weirdest thing to come through a siren song in a city full of magic. Then Narco will take the lead on heading up the stairs to get themselves out of the back rooms.
All right. Opening the door, ascending the stairs. As the trapdoor opens, you smell the scent of various food cooking and baking bread. You find yourself in a stocked kitchen with a male figure wearing an apron over a nicely tailored suit and a carnival-style mask working a range top. Next to him is a female satyr with long red hair and green eyes, wearing a tight, very figure-flattering leather corset, sitting atop a large brewery barrel.
Ah, more breakfast.
As you ascend the stairs and make your way into this kind of backroom kitchen, these two that are already here kind of watch you as you enter curiously. You can tell that you are not the normal characters that seem to come up from this trapdoor, but the satyr, her eyes lock on Ren as Ren appears. You hear her say, "Oh my god, Ren, are you back? That was the longest break I've ever seen." I'd be jealous if I was the type to get jealous.
First of all, very well done. Ren will blink a few times. Huh?
You're gonna do that thing where you pretend like you don't know me. It's fine, I get it.
Wait. I do not know you.
So you don't have to keep pretending. Just leave already or whatever. Just do what you're gonna do, Ren. God.
I am not pretending. I thought he said yes.
Ren, amnesia. Open with the amnesia.
Oh. Hello, I am Ren. I do not remember things. Did I do that right?
Ren. Where have you been?
Dead.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
It did not take, it seems. May I ask how I know you?
You really don't remember?
Uh-uh.
My name is Cadriel, and we worked at the Siren Song in the Rose Coast. Can't believe I
Okay,
don't remember.
Cal. I have only recently re-encountered Cal, and he had said something similar, that I worked in the Rose Coast. That I had a dungeon? That did not seem like me.
I mean, it was like kind of a dungeon, but not the kind of dungeon that I use. That costs extra.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay.
You did like to
was
go
very
downstairs to the
confused.
basement. It was very dank and dirty and always smelly down there.
Smelly? I thought
Yeah.
it was quite clean.
Well, I guess it's subjective.
And he mentioned a singing Sant.
Oh yeah, Dave, he's right outside. I'm sure he misses you.
What?
Nessa's been taking care of him this whole time. I was supposed to grab your other plants, but I forgot.
Did you think you would find me here?
I don't know where you went. Like, you came with us, but then one day you just, like, left, and then you were gone. And I figured, oh well, he doesn't want to know us anymore. Which is fine. I get it.
Does that often happen to you?
I don't know, I don't pay attention.
I see. I am very confused.
You're not confused, you're Ren.
Okay, I can agree on that. So I worked here after Rose Coast with you.
Yeah, I can't believe you don't remember this stuff. Like, we moved into Moonhaven, we got all the snooty nobles to be like, oh yeah, okay, sure, we'll let you build your place here because they're all boring and they needed something to do. And then, like, one day you just, like, left. You're like, I'm going to go look for stuff. And you, like, left. And then we didn't see you again.
I'm going to say my quest did not go well. Or I was seeking something exceedingly dangerous and I did find it. It is difficult to say.
Oh.
I am sorry for leaving without telling you more information.
Oh,
And
you
I am sorry I do not remember you.
Oh, you don't have to apologize. But you should apologize for not remembering me. I'm unforgettable.
I will endeavor to remember you.
You'll have to endeavor to forget me.
No, that did not seem to be the case. It happened quite naturally.
Ew! Ren! I don't like how you came back with this attitude, but it's great. It really is. It suits you well.
I am once again confused.
Just roll with it!
I have 4 legs. That would make it very difficult to roll. My torso is at a terrible angle to make that possible.
Yeah, you do have really long legs. So, like, what are you doing here? Like, that's usually the door that Cal and Lorelei use.
We were sent by Lorelei to engage in a mission.
Oh, you're doing stuff for her? She better be
That was
paying
the
you well.
agreement. Yes.
Don't justify myself.
Aren't you a fae?
Nope, Ren doesn't know shit. Oh, I see.
I mean, I'm from the Feywild.
Oh.
You are too, aren't
If-
you? Look at his ears.
Oh. No.
She came from more my direction.
Well, this is kind of lucky, Ren. You have some other coworkers, and it looks like they have some of your old things too. Maybe that'll be useful.
Yeah, Nessa's outside.
Yeah.
You should probably go say hi to her. She's been wondering where you were too.
Oh. I am sorry to make you worry.
Oh, I wasn't worried.
Oh. Okay. I am glad I did not make you worry.
Yeah.
What was your name again?
Cadriel, did you not hear it the first time?
No, I was a little bit, almost unconscious, but not really. It was
yeah,
a really...
I have that effect
we-
sometimes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Naruto looks over nervously where Apollo probably has like 5 plates of food that he can't get out just from the kitchen because we're all blocking the doorway.
Yeah.
I weren't even using that doorway.
Alright. Let's... Well, why don't we get out of the way from the kitchen at least, so we're not blocking things up here. But yeah, let's talk to Nessa? Sure, let's talk to Nessa. We can learn more about Ren.
Ren will learn more about Ren. And Ren will come out. Is Dave making music?
Dave is making music.
Oh my gosh, Ren is like going straight over to Dave, like a little moth to a flame, just staring at it in absolute fascination.
You see the, Professor, as you're trying to steal a sausage, you, like, directly make eye contact with Apollo, and he just kind of looks down at the sausage and looks back up at you, and he just shrugs.
He's got like the sausage hanging out of his mouth. He just wiggles his eyebrows at Apollo and walks away.
As you make your way back out to the bar area, you see Astrid, another one of the servers here, again wearing another Carnival-style mask, and you see another elf behind the bar, long, dark hair, kind of these green accents on her skin. She kind of looks over as the door opens and she sees you guys coming out. She starts to approach where Ren is looking at Dave, and she says, "Ren, is that you?"
Hello. Are you Nessa? Badriel said I would find you here. I am sorry for making you worry.
She kind of comes around the bar and she puts her hand like on your bony cheek and she says, "It really is you. You've been gone for like 3 years."
Oh, that is a long time.
It is a while. Where have you gone?
Oh, right. Nariko said, I do not have my memory, and I died. Well, first I died, and then I came back, and now I do not have my memory.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But it's good to see you again. We thought after we finished that last job, that you decided that your tenure with Siren Song was over and you wanted to go on your own.
Job?
Yes, it is probably best that we don't talk about it in public.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, Rocket. You gotta go down, buddy.
Does this Astrid look the same as the other Astrid did?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally like a codename kind of thing. It's just like, because, it's
Yeah.
because that's the way it is, and because I'm too lazy to keep naming NPCs.
Cool. So it's completely different. It's a completely different woman.
It is a completely different woman, yes.
Great. So Jade's not going to run up to hug her because it doesn't look like Astrid.
Right. Nessa looks to Ren and she says, "Well, yeah, it's been 3 years. Last I remember, you said that you were going to collect samples to experiment for some new potions."
That does sound like me.
It is very much you.
I would say I encountered something that was quite potent.
To make you forget,
Yes,
I would imagine it
Well.
is.
amongst other things.
How you came out of the kitchen, but I did not see you come in.
We went to the Feywild.
Oh, I see.
It has been a very busy time, but apparently no time has actually passed.
Oh. Yes, a time dilation in the Feywild can be like that.
I do not mean to be rude or sound abrupt. I just do not have much context for our conversation. But again, I am sorry for making you worry.
It's quite alright. I'm just glad to see that you're okay. What has brought you to Moonhaven?
We are investigating some strange occurrences.
Strange occurrences, like what?
Well, has there been anything strange or out of the ordinary happening here?
Kind of thinks for a moment. And, she kind of shakes her head and she says, "Nothing too out of the ordinary, though. Although, of course, the sirens here, they collect their secrets. But it's the usual politicians playing one side against the other, nobles trying to get a hand up on each other. That sort of thing."
That sounds quite typical. We are seeking out strange occurrences of magic doing unusual and sometimes uncontrollable things.
Oh,
Generally, it's quite damaging.
nothing. No reports of strange magic here. Well, I would say I'm sorry to say, but I guess I'm not sorry to say.
Have there been any mysterious disappearances or thefts of rare gemstones?
Oh, well, there have been there has been some burglaring around the docks lately, but not within the city limits anyway.
Hmm. Do you know what their target was?
I can't say that I do. Um, all I know and all the sirens have heard is that there's been rumors of cargo being disturbed overnight on some of the ships that are docked there overnight. Nothing has gone missing. Guards haven't caught anyone, but now that you mention it, they have found that there's one ship that's been at port there for about a month and it hasn't moved, and no one's seen anyone coming or going from it.
That is quite odd. Do you know where that ship came from?
No.
Hmm.
I mean, ships come and go all the time, so a ship coming into port would not have alerted anybody, but the longer it stays without moving, the more people start to theorize about it.
What do they theorize?
She kind of shrugs. She smirks a bit and she says, well, the prevailing theory is a ghost ship, if you can believe it.
Hmm. Interesting. Is there anything curious happening at the Mage Academy?
She shakes her head. She says, not that I'm aware of.
Interesting. I appreciate the information. I believe we will investigate this ghost ship.
Oh, really? Well, wow. Right off to work, huh?
We do not do well if we are sitting still for too long.
She kind of laughs a bit at that, and she says, we never did.
This is Dave.
Dave, yes, you named him.
May I take Dave with me?
Oh, it seems only right.
Thank you. I find his music pleasing.
Let's go ahead.
Isn't it Calliope music?
Yes. It's like harpsichord stuff.
Amazing.
Oh, you already have control of
Jesus
Dave.
Christ.
That's my Dave! My damn plan has just hooked him up again.
Fantastic.
Ren will look at his companions. I apologize for monopolizing the conversation. Is there anything else we needed to find out here?
No, you did the Adventurer Classic. You found the bartender and you tapped for information. I think mission accomplished there.
I am not experienced in this.
Nessa kind of smiles sadly, knowingly.
I'm going to say that compared to what we have been through in the last 2 weeks, I will call us experienced. We are domestic mechanicus. We are experienced problem solvers. Trial by fire. And we have earned every bit of that designation.
I would like less trial by fire.
Nessa
Also
kind of,
urinals.
But
Nessa kind of double takes and she says, did you say Mystic Mechanicus?
Yes.
Narco kind of turns towards Nessa and she says, yes, although I was not expecting our name to reach this far abroad. What do you know?
Well, we heard of what happened in Crystal Cove. and that it was the Mystic Mechanicus who saved the Sentinels of St. Ballard.
Yes,
No small task.
but that was before the branding.
That was also not that. I think that story might have jumped a little bit because we fought off some of the attackers, but we hardly saved the Sentinels.
She kind of shrugs and she says, well, you know how stories tend to get embellished as they get passed from person to person.
Oh, I do. I just worry about my ability to keep up with whatever the latest version of the tale is, so I'm not caught off guard. Well, have a reputation to lean on, for good or ill. That may serve us. Ren, do you want to head straight to this ghost ship, or do we want to stop by the academy first? Talk with the headmistress and other. No, you're a follower of the god of death. I completely understand if potential unquiet spirits are a personal concern for you.
I am not convinced it is actually ghosts, but I am quite curious about an empty ship, especially considering the activity on the docks that we encountered in our last port.
Not
Very good.
only that, but if it's been something unusual in the past month. I mean,
Well-
we know they can lay low. Maybe it's a place that they're using as a hideout.
It would seem to match the time period.
Then why don't we take some good advice from our newest investor and make sure that when we do investigate it, we're not doing it entirely for free. Perhaps the headmistress or whatever person's of authority she knows might be willing to contract us.
Okay.
Before we head out, Ren, did you want to go downstairs and see your space?
Rana turned to Nessa. Do I have a space here as well?
You did, but we never got around to setting it up before you left. So it's there, but it's empty.
That is alright.
That's just the one in Rose Coast, then?
Anything that's left that would be there, but... And she kind of turns around to look in the kitchen. She says, someone forgot to take the plants when we moved.
And forgot.
Cadriel shouts back, I was on a break! Nessa just rolls her eyes. That
I
bitch
didn't
Becky
forget,
was
just
supposed
didn't
to
want
do it.
to.
She's supposed to take my ship that weekend. She didn't, that bitch.
I see. But Ren doesn't really see.
Spice has a weird energy.
This is a unique place.
Nessa smiles and she says, it is. That's why people keep coming. Well, figuratively and literally. Although, is it literally and literally? Oh, I don't remember. Anyway. Well, Nessa continues, whatever you decide to do be careful. Hate for it to be another 3 years before we see you again.
Ah, indeed. I would also like to avoid that, if at all possible.
Nessa, it hasn't really seemed like Ren's memory has been jogged terribly much, but are there any other of his former co-workers around here that may want to, know he's alive again?
Well, you've met Cadriel, you've met... it sounds like you've come from Galadriel as well.
Yes.
Well, the last others that he would have seen would have been probably that are still around anyway. If you go back to Rose Coast, you'd be able to speak to Jin and Bubbles. I'm
Bubbles?
sure they'd remember you. Yes, Bubbles. Cuddles.
Curious name.
Cuddles.
I
Cuddles.
was about to go, oh no, which reality
Cuddles.
is this? Cuddles.
Sorry, Cuddles.
You're in so many different things. Okay, retcon.
Yeah.
Still,
Is
Cuddles?
Cuddles another planet?
No, Cuddles is a plasmoid.
A what?
A being from outer space, basically turned himself into goo or stretched to great lengths. Best ball
what?
rack you'll ever have.
He's a goo?
We met someone like that at a different siren song over in Rockdale. His name was Bubbles.
Really? There's
Oh,
more.
that's what she's talking about.
Interesting.
I thought Cuddles was the only one.
Narco starts writing a note. Plasmoids from space? Question mark.
Question marks, arrows pointing at it.
Space equal void? Question mark. Must interview
What
Cuddles or Bubbles. Narco is about to have a very bad research trip someday. This tiny microphone next to a ball of slime. Can you tell me about the solar system? Space! Yes, that. Can you tell me more? Space.
I love
Oh no.
Oh no.
it. I love it. Let's go. Make it so.
Alright. Well, sounds like if we find reason to stop by Rose Coast, then we can pick up a few more pieces of Ren's past.
I suppose.
Yeah. And I am sorry, Ren. I thought that, meeting people who had known you before might have jogged a little bit more of your memory, but it doesn't really seem like it.
Nope.
Maybe you're in kind of a similar situation to Aura, in that you're more or less at a fresh start.
I now have guilt for forgetting people.
Let's not go down that path, because
Red's eyes kind of like fade and glow like he's blinking. That
let's
is all
step
I have.
outside. Moonhaven, it's a really nice city. Why don't we take a look? We've been cooped up a bit.
I enjoy playing this character.
I know, right?
Thank you for the information, Nessa. Chances are good we'll probably come back if we need a place to stay. Siren Song's very accommodating.
You're always welcome here.
Jade pops back over to say, "It was nice to meet you, Cadriel."
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Okay. Bye. Bye, Nessa.
Goodbye.
As the party is leaving, there is a moment where the sound around you dims, as if you've just stepped into not necessarily anything is happening around you, but you stepped into a room that's away from noise. As you hear Lorelei's voice in your head, and she says, "I didn't get to tell you this before you left. I had to have someone check that they were still in town. I wasn't actually sure where you were going to be. And then it stops. It comes back. Fuck. Anyway, your contacts in Moonhaven. Nessa Olbreth. and a Professor Aeronaris both work closely with... Motherfucker! Both worked with Temerity. You can reply.
That seems nice.
Narco immediately turns around, walks back in. Oh, wait, Nessa, more questions. Hold on.
Huh? What? Oh.
Did you work with a wizard by the name of Temerity?
You see, she gets this scowl on her face. And she says, I've met her.
Okay. Well, we just got a belated message from Lorelei saying that Nessa Albright would be a contact of ours on
That's the
information about her.
headmistress.
Elberith. She's the headmistress of the School of Magic.
Okay. Sorry, just met you. You were also named Nessa.
That's...
Thought that was not a coincidence. This
is-
happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yes, for no other reason than it is a unique name.
Okay. Sorry about that. My apologies.
It's
Oh,
quite alright.
You said you met Temerity?
Yes, I have.
What can you tell us about her?
She's kind of a bitch.
Oh, why?
Because I met with her to ask her information and she fucking blinded me.
That is not very nice.
Did we forget that Temerity blinded Nessa?
Oh no, I was waiting.
Oh no,
I
this is
fucking
great.
did it.
Why would
Oh god, it's so great.
I mean, what?
Oh, wow.
Fuck her.
Oh, that's not nice.
No, it wasn't. Gave
I'm
her the
sorry.
freaking code word and everything and play that little game.
Code word?
Ugh. We had to meet with her at one point for some information, and what we were told by Gemma was to recite a certain line so that she knew that we were friendly. And even though we did, she still fucking blinded me.
Oh,
That is quite rude.
oh yeah, that's really rude.
It
Especially if you had the
was.
whole thing. What information were you supposed to be asking her?
She kind of clicks her tongue and she looks over at Ren. And she says, we shouldn't be talking about the jobs that we've done, but seeing as how you are with this group, do you trust them?
Ren nods. They've saved my life, and they've proven themselves to be quite competent.
She gets in closer so that there's kind of like a little bit of a bubble with just you guys. And she says, well, we spoke with her because we were supposed to get some information on one of the professors at the School of Magic by the name of Master Arenaris.
Oh.
We had a job, again looking at Ren, to search his house for a certain artifact and to bring it back.
What artifact? Was it a gemstone?
turned out to be a puzzle box.
Oh.
Of all things.
Why would you need to get a puzzle box?
We don't know, and it wasn't... And we weren't privy to that information.
Oh. Okay.
But Galadriel wanted to speak with her, wanted us to speak with her because she had a fellowship at the School of Magic here in Moonhaven, where she spent a lot of time in some sort of research. And Master Arenaris was a fellow instructor of hers. He was an instructor of ancient arcana. And Galadriel thought that he might have had some personal information about Temerity.
Oh. Jade's gonna look at the others. Maybe we should head out to speak with their headmistress.
I think there are numerous individuals we must speak with now.
Yeah.
A puzzle box. Interesting. What did Temerity know about this puzzle box, or did she know anything?
Well, our questions to Temerity were not about the puzzle box. They were more about Master Arenaris.
They were friends.
Colleagues is the more appropriate word.
Sounds like she didn't have really any friends at all.
Yeah. I can see why if she goes around blinding everybody she meets all the time.
I love the level of saltiness.
It's fucking
So
appropriate.
it's so accurate.
That is
Yep.
a 3-year grudge.
Yep.
She's
That
an
ain't
elf.
going
She'll
away.
hold on to it.
Yep. Don't blind my bitches. Yuki's gonna walk over to, or I guess she's already over there listening. She's gonna look at Nessa and she's gonna say, I'm really sorry that she blinded you. That sounds quite awful.
You shouldn't be sorry. It's not your fault.
No. No, it's not my fault. You are correct, but it is still an unfortunate circumstance, and I'm sorry you experienced that.
Well, I appreciate your sympathy.
I also do not like when I cannot see. I have not had the misfortune of being blinded, but I also do not like when I cannot see.
Well, you won't have to worry about looking for Temerity. She hasn't been seen in some months, so you likely won't cross her if you try to go to the School of Magic.
Right. Should we go then?
Sounds like we've got quite a bit of work ahead of us here.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you again for all the information.
She turns to you, Ren, and she gives you a smile. She says, "You're quite welcome. Do be careful." Yeah?
Indeed, I do not wish to die again so soon.
Again?
It has been eventful for years, apparently.
It seems so. Well, good luck.
Thank you. We should be back before we leave town, I imagine.
Oh, good. We'd like to see you again.
Ren kind of like inclines his head so it's almost a smile and nods and, trots off.
All right. Everybody else following out to the town?
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and grab some tokens.
Give us that sexy, sexy town map.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting to be labeled inappropriately.
Seems like there we go. As soon as I'm able to grab tokens. I don't know what it is about this map. I guess there's a lot of vision blocking. It just kind of gums up the works.
Oh yeah. Once you add dynamic lighting, you can expect double load times.
Hey, just remember, guys, Ren has his own theme music now. Boop, 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 boop.
Calliope music.
Well, welcome back to Moonhaven, everybody. It is a Tuesday afternoon. The sun hanging high in the sky. The town is kind of bustling all about you. There you see people in various mage robes coming and going. There's a lot of mages in this city, moving to and from the School of Magic. Where you're at, this part of the town, it is a little bit more upscale. So there are some nicer homes and establishments around you. What you can see around, there is kind of like a different, like another tavern that's across the street from the Siren Song here. You're right by the center square of the town, which houses the School of Magic. Several fountains dotting the streets. You see the entrances to the sewers as you as players remember them. Typical Tuesday.
So, a lot happened in a short amount of time, and we've only been here about 10 minutes. I guess we go to the School of Magic to see if we can find Nessa.
Yep. I can give you, me and the professor can probably give you a sort of mini tour as we make our way through, but we head to the School of Magic. She has an office there. If she's there, we can request, or we can at the very least request a meeting with her secretary, and she's already been made aware of the Void situation and that Temerity was somehow involved, so hopefully she's already gotten a head start on collecting all sorts of goodies for us to look over. And this will be a simple and not at all complicated affair.
Yeah.
You know, as I was like saying it, I was realizing no, that was just not going to happen. But
We can hope, though.
yes, yep.
And it's been a little bit, so maybe she's gotten some information that we don't have yet. And like you said, at least she's aware.
First time for everything.
Ren, how are you feeling about all that? Meeting your old friends that you don't remember.
It is weird. It is like I'm hearing someone else's story and expected to be part of it.
I mean, the Nessa woman seemed very nice.
Indeed.
I don't think she was going to try to make you fit into a story that wasn't yours anymore.
No, but I feel bad. I've caused her pain, and that is not what I intended.
Well, it just really means that you were cared about. That's all. And that's a good thing. If people missed you when you were gone. And now you made her happy that she knows you're okay.
I suppose.
And it doesn't seem like you did it on purpose, Ren.
I hope I did not.
I don't. If you were anything like you are now, I don't think you would have been frivolous.
I appreciate that.
Well, it's good to know that you have people who you can turn to, even if you don't remember them.
Yes, I think you are correct with that.
But apparently you were stealing things?
It would seem so. I do not think I am very stealthy. That seems like it would have been difficult.
Yeah. And from the
Um,
other person that we're supposed to go have a... Well, I guess we don't
yes,
have to, but he's a contact.
that makes it awkward.
Does it? You don't remember doing anything?
No. I should have asked if we were caught.
I imagine if you were caught, probably Nessa would have said something.
Maybe.
Or been in jail.
Perhaps. Oh well, it is too late now.
It's true. Narika's already gotten a bit of a head start on us. I think she's excited to show us around the school.
Mm.
So, approaching the School of Magic, I want to first ask the question, Naruto and Professor, how long has it been since you guys were last here?
I think for Naruto, it's probably only been about like a year or so.
Okay.
I feel like it's probably the same for the professor without digging out my timeline of what the professor's been doing,
That's fair.
which I absolutely have.
I believe it. So, the memory of the layout of this place is still pretty fresh in your memories. You know that it's kind of like it's almost like an open college campus, having lately been in a period of low activity where there hasn't been a need for high security. Um, People freely come and go. You know that there are memberships open to the public now to be able to access the library, although there are still some more restricted sections of it that only students, and even a more restricted area that only administrators are allowed to go. But walking through the halls of this school, it's laid out exactly as you remember it. There's a hallway where there are doors that open up to extra dimensional spaces that have different classrooms and labs in them. There's an administrative hallway where you would be able to find the headmistress's office. There are other labs and practice areas and all sorts of other things that you would find in a college campus, as well as a um, well-kept kind of central quad, which is like a green space area with a very lovely fountain and some seating right in the center.
Naruto takes a deep breath in, remembering how just a few years ago she was just a carefree student, learning about magic, coming up with new ideas, all excited to take them home and show mom all these cool things that she could make. I always did like the feel of this place. But, administrative offices first. Let the headmistress know we're looking for her, and if we have some time to spend afterwards, then we definitely need to see the library.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to get a list together of all the things we have to do while we're here. Library, Nessa, then library, and there's that ghost because air quotes, ghost ship that's down at the docks that might not be a ghost ship and might be something else entirely that we have to go and figure out, because that's weird, and Nessa said it was weird, and weird stuff has kind of been all cult things, and then talk to this man who had something stolen from him. I'm sure it's going to be fine.
And you know what? If we do all of those things, our reward is they have a fantastic cupcake shop that we should go see.
Oh, cupcakes?
Yes.
Oh, I like cupcakes. Yep, alright. It'll all be better with cupcakes and sprinkles. And I look forward to that cupcake. Do we need to try and... I mean, so Lorelei said that they're definitely in town. So do we need to go see, like, a secretary? Or...
Yes.
Or,
We're like already on the way to the office.
Yeah.
I
You're
got
kind
a
of,
little confused by all the doors.
yeah, you're kind of already walking down this administrative wing, and kind of midway through, right in the center of the hallway, there's a set of like these like white, like almost French style doors. These double doors that you know would open up into the headmistress's office, where she has a lovely front and center view of the quad.
So the doors are enchanted. So no need for a secretary. If the headmistress wants you to come in, then the door is open for you. So Marco just kind of confidently steps forward to push the doors open, and
There's a touch of magic. You feel a little bit of almost like a sigh as the wards drop. The door opens for you.
Convenient.
Inside, you see the familiar face of his headmistress, Nessa Elbereth. She kind of looks up from her desk and she smiles as she sees you, and she says, "Noriko! I didn't know you were coming so soon."
we wound up taking a shortcut.
I should say you did.
Which is doubly impressive considering the detours that we had on the way here, regardless. Myself and the rest of the Mystic Mechanicus are here. May we take a seat and discuss matters with you?
Welcome, yes, please enter. Before we begin, I did make a promise to you, Narco, and I do have something for you. She kind of turns and she goes into one of her closets, and she pulls out this dress that looks like it was tailored to you. It's long and flowing, and it kind of like shimmers in the light, and you can sense, a light bit of magic coming from it. She kind of hangs it up on like a almost like a coat rack nearby, very carefully. It's on a hanger so that it lays flat. She says, "The dress that I promised you when I saw you back in Crystal Cove."
Oh, my! All I was asking was just the contact information for the garment makers. I wasn't expecting you'd have an entire dress for me.
She kind of smiles and she nods and she says, "I was happy to call in on some contacts that were able to make this happen."
Well, it's very generous of you, headmistress. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Thank you. I'm very excited for you, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. And Narco, we'll let it stay on the rack there for a bit before she collects it. But she'll turn to the headmistress and say, "Well, would you would you want to get right into business, or perhaps exchange more of the pleasantries? I don't know how busy you are today.
Well, she kind of smiles and she says, "As much as I enjoy seeing you, I know that you being you and your companions being here is not a simple social call."
Allow me to catch you up to speed. I've already heard that apparently our little troop has its exploits reached this far, but to give you the truth of the matter, after Crystal Cove, we headed to Dumdaral. We found that a cabal of Durgar had driven the miners from the mine and taken it over for prospecting under the leadership of a shapeshifter, not unlike the one we encountered in Crystal Cove. We removed them, also put a stop to the weather control device that they had been using over the area. Continued on to Rockdale, found a group of gnolls that were terrorizing the roads, found out that said gnolls were carrying void corruption as a means of spreading sort of curse of transformation, where bites would cause their victims to transform into more of them. We put a stop to that. Had a close call with the curse in the process, but managed to get it purged. And then at Red's Wharf, we ran across more followers of this same cabal that's at Crystal Cove. They are followers of a being they call Kurgalak the Whisperer, and their stated intention is to bring more of the void into this world, quite despite the disjunction that such interactions cause. And, well, they seem to believe in doing so, they might be able to take the various other worlds that exist kind of outside our particular dimension and have them recombine? The specifics are not entirely clear, but we did uncover a great deal of their plans and literature. They have a number of schemes currently going on in Averil, but most troubling is that they appear to be after an artifact called the Clavis. As a result, they are following up any leads on particularly notable gemstones in the hopes of acquiring this. As to our shortcut, we were heading by boat over the seas, wound up captured by Leviathan. From Leviathan, we took a detour through the Feywild, and from there reappeared here. And here, our main interest at the moment is to find more information about the Merity, in that it seems that wherever she disappeared to is very heavily tied to all of these goings on, and may give us better insights into just what these followers are conducting and where we can best position ourselves to support them. That's the short version.
She might have been researching something that maybe they wanted. That much we know. Apparently she was studying late into the night before she disappeared.
She had a friend with her, someone named Rufus?
You see, as you kind of give her all this information, you see she kind of like slumps back in her chair a little bit and her eyes glaze over for a moment, which Narco and Professor, you both know, is extremely unlike her, and is troubling to say the least.
Insight check.
Are you okay?
Go ahead and insight.
I swear, if we're talking to another doppelganger, I'm gonna start blasting. Okay. Narco, I did not have proficiency. Okay. I'm gonna put guidance on there. That is a 23.
So what you both get from her is that this seems like a genuine reaction. Like she's not pretending to be somebody else, or somebody else isn't pretending to be her. This does seem like a genuine reaction. It seems like it seems like the kind of reaction someone would get when they get told some very bad news.
Oh, by the way, Joint Commission is doing their rounds right now, so
What was that?
I'm nurse joke.
Oh,
So
Hey,
I have not been having a fun week at work. Let's leave it at that.
Oh, Jaco's the worst.
so Nessa kind of like leans forward and she says, "That is a lot. Um, it sounds like an absolute plague of this cult. Damn, I can't believe they've been operating under our noses like this. But I suppose that's what they've always done in the past, isn't it?"
You know who they are?
I know of them, but, well, I would suggest you speak with Master Aronaris. He has a much more intimate knowledge of what is all of this, I should say. He's been my primary source of information, and talk of Void and Kurgaleth and Rufus. This is bad news. This is bad news indeed.
Wait, Rufus is bad news? The man who was with Temerity is bad news? Why?
He was obsessed with studying this void magic and trying to speak to the power that from which it originated. He, like the cult members that you mentioned, he had this idea of balance in his head and believed that Kurgaleth the Whisperer was the one that would be able to bring this balance to the world. The balance he spoke of was one of, as you mentioned, bringing multiple worlds together as an event that he would refer to as the convergence, when all worlds would become one, and all beings within those worlds would be able to freely move between them. He believed the balance was that it is in a knowledge of all things, so that everyone would be able to know and experience everything that there is to know about multiple facets of life, I suppose.
Wait. But Shade's gonna look at everybody else. That's not. I mean, it's similar, but it's not really what Rockamira was saying, was it?
No, it is not.
Rockamira?
When we came from Rockdale, after the Knolls, we went down to Red's Wharf, and down there is where we discovered that there was some more cultists down there. They were stealing things and making it seem like the local thieves guild was doing it, and we tracked them down to a house in the woods that wasn't too far from town, and there was only one person there, and her name was Rockamira, and she seemed very nice, but she kept talking about wanting to see other worlds, and that the void that they were experimenting with the void. The woods we went through for it was all twisted and corrupted and alive, and she said that when they practiced their magics, they didn't always have control over it. But anyway, she said that it was also going to bring balance, but the balance was going to be death, not. But Rufus thought that the balance brought would be that a fuller life,
More like a great deal of knowledge to the point of enlightenment.
That doesn't sound like the thing that Rockamira was talking about.
When you
No.
speak of balance, it can be very subjective. It can be very different to different people.
I suspect this entity, or whatever you would find most convincing.
Do we even know that there's actually an entity?
Nessa
We
kind of
don't?
looks at you and she says, "There is."
Oh,
And those who have touched the void claim to hear whispers from it. An ancient and terrible being named Kurgoleth, as you've mentioned.
Jade looks at the professor immediately.
And
Jade has no
How-
chill.
How terrible.
And the more they use it, the more obsessed they become with it. Some going even as far to make warlock pacts with this being, which they claim will allow them to unlock their full potential. They say that they've been held back when they first learned of the void magic, but when they made the warlock pact with this being, it unlocked everything for them. There was once an incident here where we had one student who sadly killed another who tried to convince them that the knowledge of the void and the act of seeking its artifacts was wrong. They are zealous in their nature, and that is what I think the whispering of the void does to them.
Mm-hmm.
But Master Aronaris does know more of the history of the cult. He's shared with me some things that I would not want to repeat myself for fear of not giving you the proper information. I can have him summoned here if you wish to speak with him.
That would definitely be good.
I think that's a great idea.
There seems to be a mage that the cult are interested in tracking the movements of. Her name is Elada.
Leda,
Do you?
Master Aronaris has mentioned her name. I don't know her personally.
Okay.
I,
Uh.
I'll,
Oh,
yes.
yes. About the clavis
Hmm.
and how it was used in times past to seal up apparently a breach that was attempting to be made in the void, or in the weave rather. Uh, and the cult seems to want their hands on it, most likely to undo any such sealing.
Uh,
Any information about that?
Master Aronaris will likely know something. I'll summon him now. You see, she closes her eyes, she touches her temple, and she begins to cast a sending message. A few moments later, you hear hurried footsteps down the administrative hallway and inside Nessa's chamber. You see an elder elf with kind of thinning hair, his very sharp, noble features to him. Uh, he looks around and kind of nods to Nessa and he says, "Are these the people who wish to speak with me?" And Nessa says, "Yes, they have many questions of which you have told me the answers to some, but I would rather you explain it to them." Master Aroners turns to you all and he says, "I'm Master Aroners. I am professor here at the school. What questions may I answer?"
Hello, Master Erinarus. I am Narako von Glutzner, former student, current leader of the Mystic Mechanicus. We are on the trail of the cult of the followers of Kergalath. They are active out in the world vigorously. We have put a stop to a number of their schemes, but they are making larger and larger flows. We know about void magic. We know about Kergalath. We know about the clavis and some of what it was used for. We know about the disappearance of Professor Temerity. We know about Rufus. What? Before we delve into any of those particular questions, let's just start with you and what you know of the Void, the cult, and its history. Let's start from the beginning, and maybe that context alone will help us settle a few of our unresolved questions.
Kind of looks around at you all. He gives he acknowledges Narco, acknowledges Professor as somebody as he has recognized you from the past, but then he looks to Jeffrey, and his expression immediately becomes hostile. And he looks at you, Professor, and he says, "Where did you get that thing?"
He steps lightly in front of Jeffrey, kind of pushing him behind his back. Like, that thing is called Jeffrey, and he's my familiar.
You will dismiss him this instant.
I most certainly will not.
Professor, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw
Okay.
with disadvantage. And subtract a d4.
Jesus.
He casts the suggestion spell on you, Professor, and you hear his voice ring out in your head. He says, "Put him away now." For those of you not familiar with the suggestion spell, I will go ahead and display that. Are you immune to charm?
No. No. Oh, apparently I'm poisoned.
Oh. Yeah,
That's probably left over from the grog.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we slept it off. We're good.
Yeah, oh yeah, you definitely slept that off.
Professor, I think you could use your chrono shift as a reaction if you wanted to get a reroll.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not any better.
You're magically suggested to put Jeffrey in his Pokeball. Do you do so?
If anybody's talking, I can't hear anyone.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
It cut out for me too.
Joe.
Yes?
There you are. If you tried to say something, we could not hear you.
Oh. I was just saying that Professor was magically suggested to put Jeffrey in his Pokeball. And if Professor does so.
Yeah, he does. I think that the effect of this spell will make it sound like a very good idea, but he's not happy about it.
He looks very sharply at you, Professor. And he says, "You're familiar. Where did you get that thing?"
His name is Jeffrey, sir. I'm not sure you heard him earlier.
Mm.
It should not have a name. It is an abomination that does not belong on this plane of existence.
Master
I-
Aaronaris, I suggest perhaps you should start your lecture and educate us on the dangers that it would pose before making demands.
You see, he kind of calms himself for a moment, and he says, I apologize, but if you understood the dangers as well as I did, you would understand my reaction a little better, perhaps. Yes, you are right. I should educate. When I was a young man, I was invited to join a society of mages called the Magus Prismatica. We were divided into schools by the type of magic with which we were proficient. I wore the red cloak of the elemental mages. It wasn't long after I joined them that the life mages, who wore blue cloaks, betrayed the order. They had been studying a theory of travel between separate realities. They found this powerful void magic and thought they could use it as a sort of energy source for seemingly impossible spells. But it proved too powerful for them to handle, and that power corrupted them. We forbade them from using it, but they turned it against us. Both sides suffered heavy casualties over a period of time. We decided the best course of action was to cut them off from this source. We burned a significant amount of arcane power to create an item that would seal the rifts in the weave that the life mages were able to exploit to pull this void from. And then he kind of pauses and he looks at you all and he says, this was the blue gem you called the clavis. We performed our ritual on the continent of Avril at a major intersection of ley lines on our world. Miraculously, after a hard-fought battle, we were successful in sealing off the void. But not before the leader of the Blue Mages, a Shadow Kai by the name of Raiden Greylith, found a way to teleport himself through these rifts. We never heard from him again, and we figured that their experimentation was over. But, seeing what is going on in our world, it appears that they have resurfaced in some way. That gives you a little bit of insight into my history, I hope.
Indeed. And as far as the nature of the void magic, at first, my understanding of it was almost as a sort of anti-magic, but it really is more accurate to say it is it is a form of magic, but one alien to the rules of our particular world. And as a result, when drawn through, it tends to disrupt the continuity and results in disjunctions. It can hamper the spellcasting of native magic at the one who uses it, and can cause mutations and aberrations in the biological creatures it comes in contact with. Moreover, when cast successively in a particular area, it tends to sort of leave its mark and sort of stain the area. Now, why would Jeffrey be in particularly dangerous? I certainly understand as a more complete and cognizant being from the void, that is somewhat exceptional. But is there anything more to that?
Anything from the void cannot be trusted, and it corrupts everything around it. The longer you let it exist. It's the nature of the void magic itself, you see. It is magic that comes from nothing. And my experience with it is that it wants to turn everything into nothing. It is merely a vacuum, a hunger that exists only to consume.
I don't understand though. Then why is it? It's not making things disappear. It's it's changing them. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it's not making things nothing.
Perhaps you've not witnessed it on a long enough time scale.
I mean, it's been 11 days, so probably not.
Yes.
And when these cultists talk of their desire to reunite various worlds, is that also something that these original white mages were attempting?
They wanted to travel. They did not mention about wanting to pull things together, at least not back then. It was a very long time ago.
So, how many mages were there? That you were a red mage, and you said the blue mages were the ones that started all this?
Yes, the blue mages, the life mages, they were. They experimented with magic that could create and extend life.
Hmm.
But then they thought that using this new magic that they found, they could go to other worlds and continue to what? Just make new things there
Well,
before it started.
at first they wanted to make their life magic more potent. They had dreams of uh, helping people to live indefinitely, which is, for the most part, not part of the natural order. But once they started tapping into this font of magic, they started seeing visions of other places, other worlds, other realities, they claimed. They wanted to go there and experience it, and they figured that if it was strong enough that they could bolster their magic here in this world, then what secrets must it unhold? What must it hold if that they can uncover if they were to travel?
Master Arenaris, the cult seems to be interested in finding a mage by the name of Amiga.
Leda, yes.
You know,
She was another one of the elemental mages in the Magus Prismatica. We Once we sealed the void away, it was an event we called the Shadow Binding. Once the Shadow Binding was complete, we knew that the Clavis had to be safeguarded, so it was elected to leave it with her. She's was among the most eldest of us, the most powerful, and she kept secrets that even we didn't know about. Secure locations, things like that. We thought it would be safest with her.
he was the eldest of you when you were a very young man.
Yes?
Is, what? Is she also a very long-lived elf, or is she something else?
She is another elf. An Eladrin.
Some things originally from the Feywild don't actually age the same way. Eladrin don't.
So, last I know was she was in possession of the Clavis and still was, as of about a few months ago. Word had come out that there was some activity going on in Uzera, and she had elected to take the Clavis to a safe location, she called it, on Avril. I believe she had a safe house along the shores.
Well, it's certain that the cult knows that she relocated to Aberil. We may not have forever to wait before.
Are there
External.
caves along the shores?
They're not along the shores, no, but there are other places on Avril where caves do exist. Why are you asking of caves?
The very first time we came across this cult, we were in Crystal Cove, and the leader there, she had taken the place of one of the Sentinels, and she teleported away, but not teleported. I guess she used a little magic bead, and it opened up into a place. Yuki saw it, and she said it seemed like a cave. Yuki, do you remember what it was?
I do. It was definitely a cave along the shore. I could hear the water. I could hear the waves and see the sandy rocks. I could smell that brine that comes along with caves by the ocean. Could they have already have been there?
God, he rolled a natural 20.
Oh my god.
He frowns and he says, caves are most likely on that continent are most likely to be found around mountains. The only mountain range there by the sea would be by Elgroff. That's a orc settlement.
Okay, so it's probably not there then.
Probably not. The various orders that we retrieved from the cult, it didn't seem like they had quite found the location that Elita was hiding out in. So it's unlikely that at that point in time they could have teleported right there.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't really be continuing to look for her if they found her.
Which also raises up the question of temerity. Mr. Arenaris, she was a colleague of yours. Was she also researching this magic?
I hope not. Temerity was interested in magics that would also extend life, but to my knowledge, she had not heard of this in particular.
Well, before her disappearance, the last person she was in close conference with was Rufus.
Rufus, he makes a face.
They apparently boarded a ship together.
Now they're both missing.
If she was seen with him, then they most likely were trying to research this void.
But if he's already been researching it for so long, why would he need temerity?
Well, see, Rufus at one point was only a student before he was expelled. There are certain parts of the library here that students cannot access. They're only available to administrators, such as myself and such as Temerity. Perhaps he was using her to try to find if there was anything in the library that had any knowledge of these things.
If he told her of the prismatic mages and the blue mages' study of life but left out a few key details, sounds like it would be something she would find of interest.
I would agree with
Right.
that.
So, okay, let's go with the notion that Temerity is the good person that everyone thinks she is, and is not part of all this, and woke up all her clones and is telling them what to do.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, yeah, so she disappeared some months ago, and apparently she had a protection detail on her who couldn't find her. They said she boarded a ship going to Port, and she never made it to Port. And then suddenly, people started seeing her, except the hers that they were seeing weren't actually her. And they was so she actually has clones of herself. I guess she made in case something happened to her. But now they're all awake.
And autonomous.
Yeah.
But that would mean that
Working with the cult.
What? That doesn't make any sense. The clones shouldn't wake unless Temerity dies.
And only one, right?
Yes.
It's not what's happening here. They're all awake. We think there's at least 4 of them. Well, maybe only 3 of them. Jade is going to keep rambling on to keep his attention over here. So there's a few of them, but they are all going. They're all up and at him at the same time. But they aren't Temerity. Like, they don't have her memories. It doesn't seem, and they don't know. They just look like her, but they're not her. Has that ever happened? Is there magic that can take clones and make them alive on their own?
Aeronaris slowly shakes his head and he says, "Not to my knowledge."
What was that, Professor?
The blue mages that you spoke of, they specialize in life magics. As they seek to augment that ability with the void. Would it be possible if one of them were to get a hold of a clone to be able to breathe life and sentience into it using their magics?
Aeronaris kind of takes a slow breath in and he ponders for a moment. He says, "When it comes to working with the void, I rule nothing out."
Aeronaris,
Yes.
you said all of this that we've been told happened originally a very, 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 very long time ago. Really long time ago. You're still here, and Lyda's still here, and apparently the Blue Mage leader is still around. But who else? Is there anyone else that's left?
He kind of shakes his head. He says, "We disbanded and lost touch on purpose. If there are any still around, I do not know where they are."
Oh. But for sure, there was at least, at one point in time, one blue mage left.
Raiden, during the shadow binding, he was able to, before we sealed it off, he was able to use the cracks in the weave to be able to teleport himself. I believe he believed it would take him to another world. I'm not sure if he succeeded, but I know we have not heard from him since.
But if he did get away, then he could have taught other people his blue mage magic.
I suppose it is possible.
So, okay, Temerity got tricked, maybe, by this Rufus person into letting them into the library to see if they could find more information. Is there anything even in the library that they could have used?
I mean, there are books in there that go back quite a ways.
But I mean specifically about the void.
There are some tomes that have been written. Of course, we're not one to burn books, of course, when we think that it is forbidden knowledge, but we do restrict them to certain individuals that we believe are able to handle such knowledge. There's one book in particular that was written that was called The Hunger of the Void.
Yes.
And that was written it was written a long time ago about what the Blue Mages had found about this void magic and what they were trying to do to manipulate it.
And is that tome still in our possession?
It is.
Well, if they look at least they returned it.
Could we look at it?
He looks at you, Jade, and then he looks at the Professor, and he would say, I don't think that's a good idea.
Jade looks up at the Professor too, and then back to Aeronaris. If we have a way to understand what it's doing, isn't that a good way for us to try and stop it?
The best way to try to stop it would be to find these cult members.
They do, and they keep killing themselves. It is very frustrating.
That is very true. It's frustrating and it's terrifying.
Not to mention the fact that these cult members are also slinging void magic at us. The more that we can learn, the better we can be prepared to protect ourselves and the people around us.
The more that you learn about void magic, the more the Whisperer will reach out to you and try to take you as one of his own.
Well, how did you all protect yourselves from them when they were using the void magic?
We used the magic that we knew how to use best. And in the end, as I told you, we created the clavis and sealed it away. Or so we thought.
I don't want to be argumentative, but we don't have the clavis to help us stop them. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be like that's as like a thing that like it's a problem. It's just it is a problem, and we need to either have it or to stop them or make sure they don't get it. If you could send a message to her to make sure she knows to run away, maybe, or further, or hide, keep hiding, that's fine. But if they're actually out there being bad people with magic that we don't understand and don't know how to counteract, how do we stop them from continuing to use it.
The only thing I could tell you to do is to find them. Perhaps lure them somewhere where they think there is something of worth that they can use to their advantage. That's how we did it. We were able to get them to a central location, and then we were able to use our magic to destroy as many of them as we could.
But there's got to be a better way than just killing people. Like you said, they didn't start out trying to use the void. Like the original ones didn't try to use the void to be evil with it. It hurt them. It was what was making bad choices. And what if that's happening now? There's got to be a better way to help people than just kill them.
We tried diplomacy. We tried reason.
But diplomacy and reason don't stop the effects once you're infected by something. Didn't you?
Then the last
Didn't
thing to do
anyone?
is to seal off its source.
Didn't anyone try something like to get it out of them?
The
Like
world
cleansing. We need to find a way to cleanse them.
The world was kind of going to shit at the time. We didn't really have a lot of time to strategize.
Which is why we are acting now, before it goes to shit.
It's been a really long time. Didn't anyone try to find a way to stop it if it ever came back?
Truth be told, we never really found a better way. We had no one left to test it on.
Well, now we have people to test it on.
Then if you can capture them, you can try to bring them to me, and I will do what I can. I'll try alternate methods, but as you said yourself, trying to capture himself has been problematic.
The professor
Right.
steps forward. You have someone right here.
Do we now?
Before we go forward, something you said just now that really piques my interest. You said that the more you know, the more the Whisperer tries to pull you in. You have more knowledge on all of this than anyone we've met so far. Have you found a way to protect yourself, or have you heard them? The whispers, that is.
No. I've seen the destruction that magic does, and I have not been tempted to use it. Once the temptation is there to use it and you give in to it, that's when it begins.
But you have some ideas on how to clear that, as long as you have someone to practice on.
I think he was saying he would try things, but didn't have anything in mind.
Well,
There has been a rumor of a document that was created in ancient time that was essentially a spell scroll, and it had the ability to magically remove somebody's corruption.
it wouldn't happen to have strange words that people wouldn't understand these days, I'm sure.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you repeat that?
Would you know it to see it?
Would I know it to see it?
Yes.
I don't know.
The professor will pull his scroll out from his jacket and kind of open it for him to look at. I can't make heads or tails of this, which is strange for me.
Aaron looks it over, and he says, "This is a spell scroll. This is an old one. Where did you find this?" Before we continue, I want to know what Revery's inciting.
Oh, geez, I don't even remember anymore. It was something he said. Oh, if he had learned how to. If I wanted to know if he was actually avoiding using void magic or had found like a way to resist it.
Um, the kind of look that you get from determination in his eyes is more of like he kept himself from using it basically on like kind of willpower alone. As far as a way to actually uh resist by any other means doesn't seem like that's something that he would have found.
Okay, thank you.
So he looks at Professor and he says, "This parchment is indeed ancient. It is a spell scroll, but where did you find this?"
Oh, someone who wanders around as I do, picks up bits and bobs from places. But what's important is that it's here, and it's in my hands. Is this what you were talking about? Is this the scroll?
It is a scroll. I don't know if it has the effect that we are looking for, but I can sense void coming off of it. But it is written in ancient tongue, an ancient dialect that I am not familiar with. I would suggest you might want to bring this to Giza in the library. She has great knowledge of such things.
Right. Sounds like a plan. Thank you. He tucks it away. And he just looks at him for a moment. He kind of stares at him, and he's just like, "Yeah, you've heard the whispers. You just ignore them."
He frowns deeply, and he looks at Naruko and he says, "You would be best informed to not let your companion dive any deeper into any of this."
Naruto gives a nod and says, "I thank you very much for your wisdom and insights, Master Araneros. I can tell that the scars of that war definitely linger for you, and can't imagine that there are many of your members of the Prismatic Order left after all this time. But this war is coming again, and whether I want to or not, it looks like it's mine to fight. So, I have faced these terrors down with everyone who sits here beside me, and I trust them with my life. The Professor and I are in agreement that the Void is dangerous, and we can't fight it without knowing what we're up against. And we have been as careful as we can about how we acquired that knowledge. Just because the whispers are there doesn't mean we have to heed them. This is our world, and we are going to see it safe. And moreover that, we aren't just going to survive what it does to us. We are going to find the means to push it back and heal what has been hurt.
I do hope you can. I will give you this much, though. If You are looking to follow Temerity's trail. I know that she had some kind of study or lab set up in the sewers under the city.
The sewers?
Yes.
Less unsanitary.
She knew that down there that she would be unbothered. There were a great many dangers down there that she was able to circumvent. She had her ways. But it was something that she kept close to the chest. She never divulged very much information about, but I knew she would go there from time to time.
Mhm. And
But it will
I'm
be
going to
dangerous.
No, you can finish now.
That's all he said. It will be dangerous.
Okay. And I'm going to take a wild guess and say, Headmistress, that any of your attempts to kind of clean out any of Temerity's old research materials here at the Academy turned up nothing?
She kind of nods, and she says it was what she had studied here at the Academy was a means of prolonging life, like the clone spell and things of that sort. Nothing that was completely untoward or unheard of.
Mhm.
Once I had heard from you that she had gone missing, we did try to search her office here. We even tried to look into her home, but she left nothing that was unusual behind.
Well then, looks like we'll have a trip to the sewers in our agenda. The only other local disturbance appears to be the ship that has been moored in harbor, and mysteriously enough, no one has been seen coming or going. It's the ghost ship title. Any information on that?
See Nessa and Aaron kind of look at each other, and they look back at you, and Nessa shakes her head, and she says, I'm not really concerned myself with that, so I'm afraid I don't have any information there for you.
Perfectly fair. I wasn't expecting any, but we have this unfortunate habit of any time we run into some odd occurrence, we find it tethered back to all this void nonsense. So, yeah. It's 11:15 almost.
It is. I was
Yeah.
looking for a good stop point. That feels like it.
Yep. We have a week to think of more questions to ask the big fancy mages.
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna. Holy shit.
Another-
Okay, talk about a lore. A trigger of lore.
Another big
A
lore.
cascade of lore.
Another big lore drop session here, guys. Sorry about that.
Fuck. How old is this bitch?
I mean, they're
Old.
both Eladrin, so they're up there.
They're thousands of years old. Oh man.
Professor, you should cast blindness on them.
Don't have glasses.
That's the wizard equivalent of slapping them with a glove, right?
Right?
Alright,
If
guys,
I had access to counterspell, I would have absolutely shut that down. I'm like, no. We're gonna be nice today.
Just gonna be
I've
grumpy.
got to go to sleep. I would nominate Ren for sure
Oh hell yeah.
for past life explorations. 100%.
And nonsense.
So much nonsense, and I love it.
Yay, nonsense. I
Alright, guys.
also have to go. And gosh, I have no idea who to nominate. Y'all awesome. Good job. How about the
Night,
professor for just
guys.
being like swarmy and stuff?
Good night,
Bye,
guys.
bye.
Hell
Love
yeah.
you.
Alright,
Love you.
Is there anybody that doesn't have 2 inspirations at this point?
I'll take a third.
Well, do you already have a charge on one of your an extra charge?
I'll
on
take
one
a
of your
fourth.
elements? Whew.
Honorary nomination for Joe for his on-point impersonation of Cadriel.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was
fun.
pretty solid.
God, I couldn't stop laughing.
I've been looking forward to that. Oh boy.
Oh, God, it's so funny. I love Cadriel. She's great. And then Nessa too. You did an amazing job with Nessa.
Mhm.
She fucking blinded me.
Fucking blinded me. Just doesn't give up on it. 3 years. It's been 3 years. Not gonna.
It amuses me when past and future characters get to meet each other, because Jade is very, very different from Lorelei and Cadriel. But Yuki and Nessa are kindred.
Yeah.
Mm.
I do second Professor and Ren. Professor can't have another inspiration. Then there were some really great moments with God damn it, why can't I remember names? Naruko had some really great moments tonight, just with kind of taking the lead of kind of just doing exposition of here's everything that's happened in 11 days. Here's what we know. What do you know? Before we get into that, tell us your story. And then also for the subtle things that Aura was doing tonight too, when it came to the clones and that information.
Mm-hmm.
I currently do already have 2 inspirations myself, and didn't do very much tonight.
You were still playing Lorelei for like
Yeah.
the first quarter of the session,
She's
so
great.
I gotta start making you fight some more stuff. Use up these inspirations.
I think everybody, including Joe, should get an inspiration tonight.
Oh, DM inspiration for everyone,
Oh, do I
including
get one?
DM. Oh no.
Let's just everyone cash in all their inspirations for a level up.
either that or find some way for us to engage in like beer pong or something. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Inspiration gets used on combat, or if there is some sort of skill-based challenge that we're too prideful to take the loss on.
It's true.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to come up with another tavern game.
If we had been called on like Master Arenaris doesn't think you guys are worthy to look at his special book, I'd just be like, all right, bitch, you want some persuasion rolls? Here you go.
Well, now he won't let us see his books. Now we got to go steal it.
No. Naruto. No, at this point, Naruto is like, nope. I don't care if it's in the restricted section. We have access at this point. If you're gonna make it our problem to fix this, we get the books.
Yep.
We'll return them. We're not even gonna keep them. We just want to read them. Naruto will be very polite and very generous on a number of things. Not for this. Too important.
Yep.
Unless Joe wants to uncap the amount of clockwork charges, I am also topped off on inspiration for the moment.
I think everybody's got 2, and some people have their amulets have something crazy going on. Maybe.
I only have 1, but I also did like nothing tonight, so
There were
You did stuff?
There were definitely a lot of subtle reactions from Moro that I liked, though.
Yeah.
And she had that whole conversation with Jade as well.
Yeah.
Also, I'm walking in and out because I'm making grilled cheese.
Nice.
Grilled cheese!
Give me
Damn, I want grilled
some.
cheese now.
Yeah, I like the whole Ren thing, though, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot, it's only, like, man, you guys were only a few hours removed from, like, that Leviathan battle at the beginning of the session.
Yeah.
What at the beginning?
You guys were only a few hours removed from the Leviathan battle, at the beginning of the session when you were finishing up talking to Lorelei. It's
Yeah.
literally been the same day.
Yeah. That's why I narco burned like all of her spell slots, so she was ready for that rest.
Oh man, yeah, another big lore drop episode. I will say that uh, level 4 will be here before too long, so there will be a level up in the near future. I would
We just have to
say.
go into these graveyards so that Joe can reuse that map he did last time and repopulate it with spooky scaries.
Yeah.
um. Yeah, I'd say probably within like the next. Probably within the next 2 to 3 sessions, there will be a level up, I think.
2 to 3 sessions. So probably I'm gonna say we'll level up on October 4th.
3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
We're gonna have to talk with we're having this talk with Aaronaris, and we don't shut the fuck up. And there's so much here to uncover. There's just so much that he's going to be giving us that it's crazy.
He has a French satyr butler that we have not met yet, and we are not leaving the city until we do. I know, Joe.
Yeah.
Aaronaris doesn't have subtle casting, right?
What was that?
Aaronaris doesn't have subtle casting, right?
He does not.
Oh, so the professor knew exactly what was happening.
Oh yeah.
He messed up on I'm just gauging how grumpy he's going to be and how much distaste he's going to have for this guy.
I mean, so this guy is like, he's meant to be like the professor in college who knew everything and was like, I can't believe you don't know this, even though I'm supposed to teach it to you. You know what I mean?
He's definitely coming off that way.
Like, he's been around for forever.
Maybe he's wrong and Jeffrey's good. Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, in 11 days, Jeffrey hasn't proven to be a dick.
There's just that one weird dream and him giving you a new spell in your spell book, but I'm sure
that was generosity.
Narco's like, I understand your distrust of the void, and I will fully believe you if you say Jeffrey is dangerous, and before we continue, I would like him to be elsewhere. I have some war trauma and such. But if you don't explain that, and instead you cast mind compulsion on my friends, I'm gonna be a little less forgiving.
Now you see why Cathilda isn't happy most of the time.
I love how everybody immediately was like, his name is Jeffrey.
And he likes strawberries. We've known him for 11 days. We can trust him, and so can you.
Just the professor sitting down with Nessa at the table, just being like, "Fucking wizards!" Just casting spells on people, and trying to ask questions. Dicks.
Oh man,
God, there's so much. Jeez.
there's a lot. I'm sorry. I put more. I put heavy lore dump episodes in here, and I didn't realize how much of lore dumps they were until we were going through them. And I'm like, man, this guy's got a lot to say.
It wasn't an overwhelming lore dump where it was like, oh God, I don't understand what's happening. Like it felt real.
Mhm.
Like it felt good. Like we met. This is the person that we needed to talk to. It's only been like 9 days since we saw Nessa. She was like, I gotta go touch base with people in Moonhaven. Come visit me. Come to me in Moonhaven. We're gonna discuss it. She came to Moonhaven and immediately tapped this guy and has been learning about it. And they're like, okay, something's going on. And then they hear Rufus's name and they're like, oh shit. Now it's a problem. A bigger problem in that Rufus and Temerity are both missing. And they were working together. We're all hoping Temerity's not a dick. But is she?
She could have been a hostage.
Could be a hostage. How do you hostage level 20 wizard?
I was about to say, I remember the relative levels of these two characters.
I mean, several years have passed.
It's true. Unless something like happened to both of them whilst they were. If Rufus was actually still searching for stuff and wasn't part of the cult, but they found something the cult wanted.
He has otherworldly knowledge of all the magical artifacts.
Fucking Harold owes him a solid.
Right? Where is Harold?
Where
Fucking
is
yes.
Harold indeed?
Harold be fucking. That's what he doing. Okay?
Yeah.
He was on sabbatical in the puzzle box, and now he's back out. And
He's
making our
taken
lives
a
difficult.
minute.
I will
So
say
hey,
when it comes to plot dumps, there are keys to make it successful. Joe is doing them. Key one is for it to be an exchange of information. The party is giving info that the plot dump people don't have, so it's not just like a one-way conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the party is getting plot dumps because they are asking for it. They have not been, sat down and been told we need here is the thing. And the plot dump is being given by actual characters, which sometimes it seems like it is, but sometimes the plot dump NPC is just this person is knowledgeable about the thing and will tell you the thing. No, this is the guy's like, no, I was in the war, in the Mage Wars.
I was
literally there. I watched most of my friends die. The only person I have left from that time is this woman that we can't be in the same room of because she's protecting a very highly magical artifact. It's been a very lonely life. What are you doing today?
So, so long as if you have those ingredients together, it doesn't feel like a lore dump. It feels like characters talking to each other.
Oh, good.
So, lore dump successful.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. I prefer to have my lore be either laid out in documents that in universe that you can go read at your leisure, or it's referred to by entirely untrustworthy sources like magical pipe organs or ancient recently resurrected queens or fucking I don't know, Sholar got drunk at the tavern one time and he told you a thing. Those are my preferred methods. Oh, Jen, I'm muted. Can't hear her snark. Or maybe. I think my connection's just crap.
No, I can't. I can't hear her either.
Oh no.
Oh, maybe her headset died or something.
Okay.
Oh, there
Can you hear
are.
me now?
Yep.
Okay. I turned it off, turned it back on again. I have it plugged in currently. It was dying, so. May have taken a second. I don't remember what I was trying to say now, though. So, oh well. Did we sign off?
I assumed it was full of snark and love in equal measure.
It was. All the time.
No, we never signed off.
Nope.
What did we learn today, folks?
What did we learn today?
Don't magically blind people, or you'll make an enemy for life.
Yep.
I think that is the takeaway.
I think that is the takeaway. That's definitely the thing we learned today. The only other thing that happened was we got food and information. Oh, baby. Oh, also, don't threaten people's pets and familiars.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that the key to solving all my problems may have been on me the whole time.
Okay, not for anything, Mars. I'm messaging Joe last session, going like, he's never gonna show Lorelei this scroll. Like,
I forgot I had it till you said something about scrolls. Like, oh shit!
yeah. Lorelei said, do you have anything else you need me to look at? See, there's, sometimes they wrote a bunch of their stuff down in scrolls and journals, and you come across any of that? Nope. Okay.
That reminds me. In like the 3.5 weeks in Kingmaker that you guys have had, did anyone bother to identify those magic items you picked up from the castle?
We picked up magic items from the castle?
No, but only
Yes.
because I don't have the identify spell.
I don't have any spells. No, that's a lie. I have one spell now.
No,
Cool.
because a pipe organ stole me and I didn't have time to get a pearl.
Great. Well,
What
if,
magic items did we pick up? I don't remember magic items. Am I stupid right now?
shield, pair of glasses. Those are the two I remember.
Oh.
Yeah, Reggie
Okay,
picked up a
I don't
shield off
remember
the
because
wall.
Cathilda didn't pick them up, so.
Reggie picked up a shield off the wall. I think there were a pair of glasses in the little box that Svenja was poking through when she found the
Oh,
golden
yeah, right. Where Svenja didn't tell us about anything else she found, but said, "Oh, look at the sheet music." Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, you could reclass, but Rogue's still gonna rogue.
Rogue got a rogue, man. Lorelei approves of your decision-making process.
Anyway, yeah. If you guys don't remember, then too bad. But you can't say that I didn't remind you. So.
Nope.
All right. I really hope that Jayco is done with my hospital when I go back into work tomorrow. Otherwise, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I hope so too, honey.
I was only minorly guilt tripped to try and come into work today, but I do not want to do 4 days of work in a row during a week where I am the only nurse. That does not sound like a fun time for nothing.
No,
Mm-hmm.
not even a little.
Take care. Love you all. See you around.
Love you too, honey.
Love
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Yeah.
We need to sign off too.
Damn it, we're still going?
Yes,
Why
we're
do
still
I never-
going.
I thought you
Heinous.
did
we're
it
trans-
after you said this is a good place to sign off on, and then we talked.
Did I say that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to sign off and what we learned and everything.
All right. Well, then this seems like a
Bye.
good place to sign off.